Yeah, that's a MIDI keyboard. It plugs right into my computer, and then I can do this.
There's only a MIDI out. There's no MIDI in.
I don't know I don't think you need a MIDI in because this is the MIDI. I don't either.
I'm like, oh, that's fun.
It's like instead of getting the sounds from the keyboard's just the thing that it's like the tool that puts in the note data.
It's a button. It makes it a button.
Right. And then the computer will tell it what sound to make as opposed to it coming from this. So the computer says, use that.
Is that computer language?
That's how computers talk to each other.
Is that secret?
I can talk to computers. Did you know that?
Well, I thought that was the lie.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
No, not because of anything about you in particular, but because it was the first one you said, and I was like, all right, because Two Truths and a Lie is like such a strange game to play. Such a strange game to play when you're on the spot and you hadn't made it up. And so I was thinking about your strategy, and I was like, all right, there are way too many details for that to be real. I thought you were trying to fake us out.
Right? Yeah.
But then, gotcha.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kenneth Frankly.
Yay.
I'm your host, Kenneth Frank. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely and talented co-host, Rory.
Hi.
Rory, welcome back for another week.
Thanks.
We're here on Sunday afternoon, which is unusual for us. Usually we're recording on Friday nights. We've exhausted ourselves throughout the week, and now we're sort of luxuriating on a sunny Sunday afternoon.
We've got a lot of work to do.
It's pretty sweet.
Tonight.
I know. Well, I've got to try to push this out tonight. But hey, that means we're current. We're on top of things.
Right.
We're talking about the new and the now. Real time.
Yeah.
I want to introduce a couple really special guests. They're in love, and they're my really good friends. One of them is a scientist. His name is Ivan. What's the last name? What is the
Zlatev?
Zlatev, that's right. What's the alias?
Ivan Zlatev.
Ivan Zlatev, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And his girlfriend, one of my best friends. Do you identify as girlfriend and boyfriend? I don't even know. Who cares, right?
Partner, but yeah.
What is partner?
Lovers, I say that a lot.
and
I like that.
Yeah.
Sexual co-advocates.
Do you hold your lover in your arms?
Sara is a
Yes.
professor at UMass Boston with a focus on macroeconomics. Am I totally butchering that?
You get if you're. I know where you're going.
You got the
talking
gist?
about that before.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to introduce my friend Sara Bernardo.
Yay!
Sara.
AKA Sandra Bernardo.
Sandra Bernardo.
Oh, I
Like Sandra
that.
Bernhardt.
What's your name? Ricky Dick Don? Regina.
Close. That's really close. Roberta Clancy.
Roberta Clancy.
Roberta.
Actually, middle name Muffy, and the reason being that those are my real initials. So if I ever,
RMC.
so if I were ever, caught, for like,
Caught out there. Khalees.
foreign espionage or something like that, like my lie would not be too big, and I would remember my fake name.
I like that. That's good.
'Cause I
Same
was not.
birthday?
Sure.
Why not?
Why
When
not?
did you make this up?
Except she's 10 years younger.
So that makes her 13?
I know, right? Oh my god.
She's a little young to be a spy.
I know, seriously.
When did you come up
This
with
is like
this?
high school.
High school, yeah. That's so funny thinking about why you had to come up with imagining yourself committing some sort of, what did you call it? Like
Foreign espionage.
it's like, that's possibly something I would. Yeah, why not?
Never say never.
I set my bar high when I was a kid, and then it lowered about a rung every year. But anyway, so.
It's 2017.
But I'm 13, so I'm still.
That's right.
I
You got
haven't even
plenty of
gotten to high
time.
school yet.
You're a 13-year-old homeowner.
Impressive.
Wow,
Yeah.
sexual. So Sara, rather than me try to butcher who you are, let me ask you, who are you and what do you do and why?
And why
All
should
right.
we care?
Exactly.
And what's your problem?
What's your damage?
Okay. My name is Sandra Bernardo.
Sandra Bernardo.
Sara Bernardo.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, my identity. Sarah Marie Bernardo. Oops.
Whoops.
I shouldn't have told everyone.
Slipped.
And what do? I like to weave and plant, grow my house. That's on my mind. 'cause
Very
our friend-
crafty. Yeah, we could talk
Yeah.
about that for sure.
Yeah. But I knew, like, what do I do for labor market
Yeah,
income?
what's your role in capitalism? How do you survive capitalism? Sorry, I should have specified.
Yeah.
That's
It doesn't
who I am.
define you.
I think that's exactly who I am
Got
right
it.
there. That was like a verbal onomatopoeia.
Yeah. Who am I? That's your question.
Yeah.
When I ask you a question this entire podcast, you're going to be like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll try to stick onto it. So I teach. I'm not a professor at UMass Boston, but I'm a graduate student. I
Right.
taught at UMass Boston in the econ, so I'm an economist.
got it. Okay.
I'm a political economist.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes sense.
You must
Yeah.
be having a lot of fun these
I'm
days, huh?
having the best time.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could talk about
It
that
is
for sure.
so much
Most
fun.
tremendous. Tremendous, greatest.
I mean, America is great again because I'm
Thank
having
God.
a great time.
Yeah,
So-
right? Yeah.
As long as you're
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, it's great.
Y'all feeling good? Great.
And then your partner in crime, Mr. Ivan, is a scientist, but
A chemist.
a chemist.
Yeah.
So who are you, and what do you do, and why, and who asked you?
Yeah, what's your problem, man?
Well, I do chemistry as drug discovery. So I work in the pharma industry,
Yeah.
not to say.
Pharmacology.
But a researcher.
Pharmaceutical.
So, what happens once you've done? What's the end game for your company? Do you sell a drug once you've proven it works, or you're just the people that prove that it works?
Yes.
You-
So they
You
make
would-
it.
Yes.
You develop.
Discover.
Yeah, drug development.
Okay.
Develop.
It was like the goal is to make a shit ton of money.
Right. So then you
'cause
sell
it's
it
big
to
pharma.
Yeah.
a
So
pharmaceutical company, or you disperse it yourself.
So it's not a big pharma company. So it's
Okay.
rather smaller and
do you have like a niche, like a certain, type of disease that you guys
Yeah.
work on?
rare genetic diseases is
Okay.
the most focus adapted to that platform
Yeah.
that the research is based on. So most of the drugs that we develop are pretty much destined to patients that have no other alternatives.
Cool.
So
That's
I
amazing.
get the profit part
Yeah.
of all that, but most importantly,
Is the
everybody
science.
who works in research and development of these drugs is really interested into changing people's life,
Yeah.
right? Bringing them something that
And I feel like that was kind of, we've always had really interesting conversations because Ivan's also more like a radical in a sense. Like he grew up in Bulgaria, like under communism, is there when, the wall fell and all of that
Right,
stuff. And,
yeah.
and his parents and his family had really interesting roles in like the World Wars, World War II afterwards and through that period. And so when we first talked about it, oh wait, side question, is my cosmic destiny starting on May 8th?
this year.
Yeah.
What? Tell me about this.
Yeah.
What is your
Did you
cosmic
guys read your
destiny?
I'm sorry, I
horoscopes
just woke
for
up.
the
What?
year?
Do we each have a cosmic destiny?
I don't know.
Shit, I missed out.
It might be this year.
Really?
Did you have one starting this year?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay,
second
mine
source
back
is
up and
as-
explain this
Yeah.
because this just seems too good.
What are we talking about?
And it's the day that we first became lovers,
Oh.
right?
So where are you pulling this
Or the
cosmic
day after.
destiny date from?
Or
Oh,
the day after.
the horoscope for 2017.
That was
Okay.
from Refinery 29 or what?
Yeah.
What was it on? It
Oh,
was
the
on some
leaders in
website.
astrology.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
Refinery
Absolutely.
29 peeps.
We
They had
they
beautiful
send
artwork.
me emails on my work email, so I know that's
On
legit.
your work, science email server.
The science of Refinery 29.
But
From astrologists to scientists.
Wow, dreamy.
It's all connected.
On a
Yeah,
secret
apparently.
chat.
I mean,
Yes.
chemistry has its origins in alchemy and like mysticism. And
Right.
whatnot,
Can you
which
make
is-
gold?
And do you collect crystals? I want crystals.
Crystals. I can make crystals.
You can? Well,
We have some rock salt. Can we try right now? I mean, a little science
my
experiment.
birthday's
break?
in October, so you've got plenty of time.
All right, good.
So how long have you guys been together then?
It's going on 2 years this May.
Yes.
But what I was after that night, then when we had a good conversation, him telling me what he does and like Pharmaceutica. We should have a pharmaceutical company called Pharmaceutica.
That's the Greek goddess of quaaludes. Pharmaceutica.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
And not to interrupt you, but I just really am so disappointed still that we grew up past the time of Quaaludes because I think I would have loved them.
Yeah, I know. We really missed the boat on
I
that
know,
one.
really.
They're really quiet, gentle
Wait, don't
boat.
they still use them?
I don't know.
I don't think they're around anymore. They
not
just
sure.
are not around.
That's what-
But you know what? I have a new chemist friend.
That's right. Hey. Making connects here and now at the Kenneth Frank Show.
Hi.
And
Smell a
crystals.
startup.
Crystals for his
My aunt had
For
that
his birthday.
same thought too. She was like, "Oh, Ivan, he can make us, marijuana THC oil,
good shit,
you
yeah.
know?
Oh my
she should
God.
get working to it."
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, right?
Wait, is that the Wolf of Wall Street drug? Quaaludes?
Yes.
Okay.
But also like Valley of the Dolls, right? Like that whole. I mean, it was very, very, very popular for many, many years.
Well,
but I
it
don't
was-
know when
it
they
was
would like.
I think it was like the 80s was when Quaaludes were a big thing, right? And
It's before that too.
was
Is it a
Yeah.
barbiturate? What's a barbiturate? Ivan?
Ivan?
Yeah, right. Resident scientist.
What barbiturates are like
Tropic.
Psychotropic.
Yeah,
type,
yeah.
but for Parkinson's and all that, targeting those receptors.
We don't
you know.
No, I don't know shit about shit.
Yeah. This conversation, we're proving our
Benefenif?
intelligence right
Yeah,
now.
right here.
Benefenifin? What's the
That
stuff?
sounds fun.
I think I went to high school with him, didn't we? Benefenifin. Yeah, I know him.
Phenobarbital.
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 His lovely mother.
A goddess of
Goddess of the suburbs.
Oh, that's how that started. What was her name? Pharmaca?
Yeah, Pharmaceutica.
Oh, Pharmaceutica.
So let's jump right into recreational drugs.
Do you have any?
No, I wish. I mean, I'm a 32-year-old man now, so I don't really do those. Although when I got my wisdom teeth out, I was taking some oxycodone, which everyone says is like the best thing ever, but for me, it was just like it made me really tired, and that was it. Like it didn't help me. It didn't.
You should break it in half and then snort it, and then you get it'll work then. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what I should have done.
Don't do this. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm not really
that's-
endorsing this. I
in
promise.
In my 20s, that's what I would do with Adderall, and I turned into a monster. But I was really skinny, so it kind of was, worked out.
It was worth it.
But wait, that is related to this conversation you guys had on it. Oh, we are longtime listeners.
Thank you.
first of
Oh,
all.
yes.
Yes.
I should
Thank
mention
you.
Sarah is the very first person that purchased me a tongue scraper all those years ago. So we have Sarah to
Can
thank.
I give you a personal thank you, by the way?
We are huge advocates of tongue scraping on the Kenneth Frankly podcast, and we only have Sarah to thank. So thank you, Sarah.
I'm such a product pusher.
I know.
Like when I
I'm
find
saying-
something
yeah,
I like, I'm
you
like,
need
babes,
this.
babes.
Bebs.
Like, so what? My grandma, Adam and Ashley, they have a Dyson. Once we got that, and like, okay, then my grandma has one. I feel like somebody, like the stick one, like, you don't understand, vacuuming is the best.
That is the best. I just vacuumed before you guys came over, and you know what? I've had this Dirt Devil for like 5 years. It costs like $40. It does such a good job. I bought a $100 one in the meantime. Doesn't do nearly as good a job.
But-
No. Yeah.
One thing about this one that's so great is the cordlessness of it, and that it's just like right there on the wall.
break easily though.
Oh my god, I hope
Dyson?
not.
Yeah.
it
Oh.
seems fragile. They need all the parts.
Yeah.
that you have to
Well, just don't break it,
Yeah.
guys.
Be gentle with it.
Very gentle.
Gentle.
I could use that. Literally, I walked around my apartment today and I was like, "Oh shit, girl, you are gross."
Yeah.
It's also really expensive, and so it's not
They are
something
expensive.
that. So we got a Bed Bath and Beyond with the ticket thing.
Oh,
20%
20% off.
30%.
Yeah.
And then there's two of us. You know what I mean? And so then it's like kind of makes it half as expensive as it, even though money's fungible. However,
Money's whatable?
It's fungible.
What does that mean?
It means that if you want to have fun, you have to have it.
Yeah.
Fungible.
Well, that's like
no, I'm just kidding. It's fungible means that.
I was
like,
with you.
talk about that though. Like,
It's not that at all.
as like an economist, let's talk about consumer behavior in terms of, because I know a lot of what you study is all about like logic, right? It's all about, supply and demand. It just makes sense usually, right? But then human behavior gets added into the mix and it's like, it kind of doesn't make sense anymore because of that.
Oh, yeah. So I am a political economist and I'm a heterodox economist. And so.
What the fuck
exactly,
is that?
right? So precisely what you just outlined.
Is
this
that a real
idea-
word?
Well, think about it. Do you know what orthodox is?
Yeah.
Well, it's heterodox.
Okay.
Straight Jews?
Yeah, what's
I'm like, I was
orthodox?
with you for like
No,
docs.
I know. But what is orthodox? That's not how I would describe
break
what
it down.
heterodox is. But what does, I just don't even, orthodox, like an Orthodox Christian, there's one, what is it?
By the
Orthodox
rules,
Jewish
like
people.
Orthodontist.
Or Greek. Yeah. That's another not religion.
Ortho sounds like.
But speaking of teeth,
Oh.
I don't have any cavities.
Yay! I'm so happy for you.
Oh, shit.
Oh no! Is the jewel? Is the snow sound going?
You know what though? Let's just take a moment to rejoice because I don't have any holes in my fucking head, and I'm so fucking happy because
great teeth.
my dentist I went to a new dentist for the first time 6 months ago. Got my cleaning. It's still going. Scared the shit out of me, telling me that like, ooh, I see 2 spots that I think we're gonna have to drill. He's like, but get me your X-rays from your last dentist. I want to see if they progress at all, and if not, then we're not going to do anything. I'm like, okay. And I've been like spending the past 6 months like, no, chewing my teeth and chewing
Have
my
you
teeth.
been spending this past 6 months flossing and brushing
no.
your teeth? Damn it.
I mean, brushing twice a day,
Every day?
of course, and then
That's
flossing like once a week, maybe when there's something stuck in my teeth. And then so just had my appointment yesterday and cavity free.
That's incredible.
I'm so glad we're here in this jewelry box celebrating with you.
Do you use the same toothpaste that you use in the morning for brushing your teeth at night?
Yeah. Do you not?
Well,
We
Yvonne
have 2 toothpaste.
doesn't. And so then I started doing it. But I'm confused. You can't use the night one during the day.
Why?
I could.
I don't know. It's a question,
Is
kind
it
of.
is
I
it
didn't
a
phrase
special
it as a
night
question.
paste?
Yeah, one's more like a night paste and the other one's more like a morning paste.
How can that be
Is it
true?
just the flavor? What's different about it?
What makes-
I prefer minty spearmint at night, and in the morning I want bubblegum.
I need a truck backing up sound effect for this episode. We're gonna need to break this down. My question is the jewelry box still going?
No, it's
No,
over.
it's
Oh yeah, you can't hear it.
I don't have headphones on.
It came up perfect when you said
Oh,
it.
good.
Yeah.
It's still going.
My question is, what makes a toothpaste better for you at night than another one?
Yeah, what?
All right, my understanding is the night one has more fluoride in it. So
Oh, okay. I guess that
good
makes
to
sense,
keep
actually.
it that way. And the morning one has more of a neutralizing effect. So if you get like acid reflux and stuff like that during the night, especially if you drink wine or beer before you go to bed.
I don't do that.
So it's a whole system. It's not just about your teeth. It's about
Or the
whole
taste.
system.
It's mostly
It's a whole mouth paste.
more than about just the taste. Yeah.
Wasn't that an ad from a while ago? Okay, anyway,
It
sorry.
should have been.
So
Continuing
continuing
out
with
about the cavity. Wait, can I ask to say
Freaking
that?
out. I was freaking out. I've never had one before.
That's why. Why are your teeth so nice? Did you have braces? Did you go to the dentist
good
a lot?
genes.
I always went to the dentist, and we had fluoride in our water growing up. I think that is also.
So did I, but my
And
teeth are
also-
janky as hell, and I've had so many cavities.
I took care of them for the most part. I mean, I am not an avid flosser. Literally, if I've got, pulled pork in my teeth, I will floss them, but otherwise, like, probably not.
You know who else has really good
care
teeth?
of them,
Yvonne has really good teeth. Look
And
at
also,
those
yeah, those are very,
straighties.
very straight and
They
nice.
look straight and nice, but they're not.
And purple
They look
mouthwash.
They're not
straight
very
and nice,
good.
Purple mouth.
They don't.
Purple mouthwash.
They don't smell straight. Is that one? Like they look straight. but they don't.
You know how they smell.
I've seen them at the clubs a few times. Just saying.
But I was
They look straight.
Straight acting
They
teeth.
are
Yeah, right?
not so straight.
they're not passing. No.
Straight acting teeth is an affliction that people with really straight, nice teeth have.
They just have to
See,
be
look,
ready to
this
lose
one
the
is over
privilege.
that one just a little bit. See, they're not straight.
Well, I just got my Invisalign molds done last
You
week.
did?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So I'm going to start wearing them on April Fools, on my April 1st.
Just kidding.
So they take this.
is this a joke?
They take this like mold, and they put in like this soft taffy kind of thing.
Yeah.
They pop it in your teeth.
Yeah.
They push out all the air bubbles.
It's fun.
And then you just sit there for a couple minutes drooling and looking like an asshole, and then
Yeah.
they like pop them out.
Yeah.
And then you've got this mold of your teeth that they send to a lab, and then they'll send you 20 different trays, and every 2 weeks you change the tray.
Yeah.
And they're slightly different, so they're gonna slightly shift my teeth to be straighter. So
Are you gonna have to have nubs on your teeth?
yeah, they call them like bubbles, I guess, or something.
Okay,
They,
that sounds
nub.
cute.
yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Well, I think it's also gonna be the
Maybe
best.
Bubbles is nicer.
Yeah, right.
That'll be my new
Nubby
nickname.
teeth.
Nubby teeth.
Nubby teeth bubbles.
How are your teeth nubs?
Oh, it's so sad.
I know. I hope it doesn't hurt too much.
I know. I think I'll be sore for a month, a year and a half. But
Yeah.
I think it's
Year
gonna
and a
be
half is a great.
it's a long time.
No,
But
that's not that bad though.
it's gonna
Considering like
be-
braces, I had braces for like 2.5 fucking years.
Yeah, that's true.
Braces.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah.
I didn't wear my retainer.
Was this
Wear your fucking
before-
retainer.
I'll wear my retainer.
Or after Roberta Clancy.
Oh, pre
Pre-Roberta.
Roberta.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pre-Muffy.
yeah.
So that Roberta Clancy can have those. That's why you thought. I never thought that I would have to escape foreign espionage, or like that I would do it and need an alias. Probably because
Oh no,
I didn't have
that's
straight
so
teeth.
sad.
Wow. We've really broken
Your
it
teeth-
down.
Only you limit yourself, not your teeth.
Oh my
I know
god.
That kind of sounds bitchy.
No,
It's like you just didn't try hard enough.
but he didn't have braces. He got his
You
wisdom
didn't?
teeth
I
out.
never had.
He had
you
like
lucky son of a
Bulgarian
bitch.
dentistry, which was like for $20 they'll like rip out your molars without painkillers.
Wisdom teeth story.
My wisdom teeth, yeah. 3 of them pulled off manually, one by one. But like not
well,
at the same
manually.
time. Not at the same
I
time.
mean, how else are you gonna pull a
No,
tooth out?
No, you don't do the surgery cut and then remove the pieces. You
Oh,
just,
you
pull up
manually pull it out.
the whole teeth.
But is that because they weren't impacted?
No, because if he was in Bulgaria.
Yeah, my Bulgarian dentist was always, oh no, it's grown, it's nice,
It's fine.
it's showing up enough. We'll just pull it out, no problem. But then it's like local.
Oh my god,
anesthesia.
the roots are like
That's what's
through
so
your
much
fucking
about it.
chin.
So the first 2 were fine, but the third one, that's when the disaster happened.
And it was like minimal painkillers, right? They didn't give
yeah,
you like
Just Novocaine.
He gave me just like an injection,
God.
the local one.
Like
That's
when
a
you have a
nightmare.
cavity, I've had so many cavities.
Really?
Oh yeah.
me
gross.
too, actually. Yeah.
Have you never had a cavity?
Oh, Sarah, I've had dozens of
Oh,
cavities.
good. I thought you were
Like
Dozens.
multiple cavities per tooth.
The most tremendous cavities.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I've had more
so
cavities
good.
than you've ever even considered having in your life.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The most cavities in the history of America.
Or what is it? The
is
least
fun.
less cavities than Sweden had. Sweden had terrorist attacks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Those are fake teeth. Those are
Fake teeth are the real American enemy. The real enemy of the American people.
That's right. Let's hit a couple really quick hot topics.
Yeah.
Because I do want to go back to economics and
Science.
chemistry.
Oh.
The dentist.
And why your notion of economics, what you were saying,
Yes.
is like total great tension in economics, but I'm not that kind of economist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Bummer.
I'm the kind. No, I talk all about that. I'll talk all about that. But
right,
that
cool.
tension isn't there for me.
Gotcha.
Because that's a particular like way of which anyway.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Why? Tell.
No, let's go later.
Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about, I know it's a little late, but we recorded our last episode right before the Grammys, and Beyonce did not win again, which is so shitty. She won.
What did
like,
Kanye do?
I don't think Kanye was even there.
Really?
Yeah, he's not in a good place right now. He's suffering from memory loss. Like,
But he had a fashion show at Battery Park.
He did,
that
but they also
it
said-
was started 20 minutes late. It lasted for 25 minutes. And it was with baggy sweatpants. That's
Well-
what I read. There's a very brief
Well,
snippet of it.
his fashion line is ridiculous. It's not good.
No.
But
It's stupid.
He
He's been
went.
doing a lot with APC though. He had like a line with APC,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know APC?
No.
No.
Who's that?
like a Paris French brand.
Oh, well, he has his
Well,
own
after-
line, but it's
Raw
not.
denim stuff, selvage denim
Yeah,
is really
like,
what they do.
like iconic jeans, APC jeans.
no,
The-
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
familiar.
right. I
The
know
kid
them
standard.
through him.
Got it.
But Kanye had like a $500 sweatshirt and
Yeah.
like sweatpants.
Well, his
for
personal brand is
$1,000.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's how he started, and then
Yeah.
went out there.
Well, he, like I said, he went to his opening this weekend, but they were scared that he wasn't even going to know where he was.
What?
Why?
What the hell happened?
I think he just had like a mental break. Same with Britney Spears doesn't know how to pronounce Kesha. You know what I mean? Like she never knows who anyone is or where she is
Kesha.
half the time. I think he just had a breaking point, and he's trying to get back to base. So sending good thoughts to Kanye, even
He's
though
trying
he's
to
an
get into
asshole.
a new phase of his life, the next phase.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what we were talking about with one of our friends' parents about just this whole idea of retirement and all of this stuff. And like, he called it a second acts. He called it like the third
second
act.
act.
He
Yeah.
said the third
The third
act.
act.
When do you think Kim will leave him? Because you know it's bound to happen if he's not working.
Bound to happen.
Yeah. Bound.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how he comes out of all of this. I think if he comes back, I do think they have something.
Do they live together?
Yeah, they're married.
Where?
I don't know. They have kids.
They've got 2 kids together.
Yeah, they've got kids.
Yeah, but don't people
In
travel
Bel
all
Air.
the time? Do they travel?
They do,
Does
but
everybody go with them?
They've gone through. Last year was shitty for them. Like
Didn't she
they
got-
had the
she got
Paris
robbed in
heist.
Paris,
and
yeah.
she
Oh
was-
yes, she
Because she was
did.
And
on
that
tour
still
with him,
comes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she went into like hiding and was off social
It's
media.
gonna be on like the next Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and
Yeah.
I will tune in. I
that
know.
still goes.
Yeah.
I know. It's
What
really
is
sad.
that? I'm sorry. Give me a history of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like how it
It's
started.
a fucking
when?
train wreck.
Yeah, I don't really watch it. It was
It's
sort
like
of
13 years or something crazy. I want to
That's a
say.
long time.
Yeah.
I know.
It was sort of a response
Yeah.
to the Osbournes.
I might be making that up.
Where it's like a rich,
But it's probably longer than you think.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, a rich family where, oh my gosh, they're so crazy and rich. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's also celebrity in there. Like
right.
The Osbournes.
Well, there is
the
now,
Osbournes
but
is Metallica.
No.
No.
Black Sabbath.
Ozzy Osbourne.
But I think they had the benefit of seeing how reality shows had folded out in
Right.
the past.
Yeah.
And also Kim Kardashian's career was sort of molded on the Paris Hilton career, and they were best friends for a
Right.
long time. Kim,
Was she on the Paris Hilton show?
I don't think so, but you would see them like in paparazzi shots all back in
yeah,
the day.
they were party girls together.
Best friends.
Yeah.
They didn't work together, but they hung out together.
Basically, yeah. So I think
Good friends.
Kris Jenner, Kim's mom, sort of saw.
is she still going by Jenner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
What with because Jenner is the he's a very Caitlyn Jenner now.
Mm-hmm.
What? Trippy. We could talk about that. In
Jen-
terms of all those messes I just had, like
That happens all the time. We're all trying, right?
Yeah.
well, exactly, and so
It's a rapidly changing world.
it is.
So, and we're
at-
adapting as we go.
That's right.
Athlete, important, Wheaties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
did he- what
iconic.
he was an American hero.
I
Yeah.
didn't know any of this. I
really?
Like no.
So
Or,
there's-
like
Olympic
So
superstar.
you have the sex tape, you have the rich famous parents,
Yep.
you have the momager, a la Sharon Osbourne.
the father that passed away, so the
Momager.
biological father that was married to Kris Jenner first, that is the father of the
Kardashians.
the Kardashian,
Yeah.
the 4 of them.
More like a
Was
gaudy character.
Yeah, well, he was the lawyer on the OJ Simpson trial.
Played by
Or one of the
played by
boys.
David Schwimmer in the newest adaptation. Is that right? Was that him?
Oh, I didn't watch the thing. I loved the
I
fucking
need to know
documentary.
more about
Yeah.
that.
but I didn't watch the thing. I need to watch that.
I
Anyway.
haven't caught up. Like I haven't looked at that stuff as an adult. Really,
Yeah.
it's kind of there happening, but
Oh,
like I just
so good.
Where were you when the
really
OJ
intense
Simpson
stuff.
trial happened? Do you remember? I was in
but I
I was
do-
in elementary school and they played the verdict. They had an extra long recess because they
What?
thought the verdict was going to come out at lunch, so all the teachers could watch
Why?
it come in.
Because everybody
It
was
was
glued
the story
to their
of the
TV sets.
decade.
It was, and the whole thing was televised. The whole
Right,
trial was
because
televised.
I feel like I did actually remember seeing on TV when I was
Oh,
younger
yeah.
the car chase.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
the white
remember watching that
Bronco.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't watch any of the trial or anything. What year is that?
95, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was saying the other day too, like they just should re-air the trial from start to finish. Like I would DVR the shit out of that.
So is that
so
C-SPAN?
fucking fast? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching C-SPAN so ever since the
Hold
I
on,
guess
was it
the
C-SPAN?
inauguration.
It was everywhere. All the media outlets were there. It wasn't just C-SPAN, right?
But there was one channel in particular that covered it,
oh, I don't know.
Well,
like live in its entirety.
It
I'm
was
not sure.
got it. So C-SPAN, the way that I understand that, right? That's where they play all of the like congressional hearings. So I've been
Yeah.
watching it online with these nomination.
Oh, God bless you.
It's been really
Frustrating.
great, right? So I
Yeah.
actually really am having a great time. It's chaotic. It's
Unprecedented.
unpresidential. Did what?
Both of those. Yes.
That
Presidential. I'll be the most presidential president you've ever seen.
It'll be precedented. No, but just to like hear so it's like playing in the background too, and then we'll like, and I saw the one where they made the vote to confirm Betsy DeVos. I always say DeVos. It might be
DeVos.
Yeah. He's
Like,
neither one. It's somewhere in between.
Skeletor.
It's like DeVille. Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, Betsy DeVos. Betsy DeVos.
I'm saying. Did you see that she
does it.
dragged that DC school she went to?
Skeletor.
She spent a day at a elementary school in Washington, D.C., and then at the end of the day was like, I can tell these teachers are just in receival mode, and they're just waiting for direction, and they have no idea what they're doing. It's like, you motherfucker. Like, how dare you? What the fuck do you know about this? How could you possibly understand the scope of how a school interacts with its students or otherwise runs in one day?
I think
you have no fucking idea.
The one thing, though, that I think she's not going to be addressing whatsoever is like, it doesn't matter how good your teachers are if your students don't have a safe place to sleep at night and
Right.
they don't have the food they need and the clothes on their back. Like, you need the
dental care that they should have.
You
Right.
need to.
I
Like,
never
it's like
dreamed
Maslow's
about
triangle,
foreigners.
right? Yeah, but
This is
like
a
you gotta.
teeth-heavy episode.
Yeah. Do you have dreams that your teeth fall out?
I had bloody teeth dreams the other night.
What does that mean?
Bloody.
It's supposed to. It's one of the most common dreams, apparently, and it's supposed to represent remorse for something that you've said or wish that you had said that you didn't. So when your teeth are falling out, or your teeth are bloody, or have teeth trauma dreams, it's usually like, shit, I said
I
something
got a
wrong.
big ass mouth then because I have those dreams all the time,
Oh, that's funny.
all the live long day.
I feel like-
unfortunately,
I feel like the origin of my teeth breaking dreams is like more rooted in actual
Dental fear. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought that I couldn't get braces. I always think that like you can't get the ones that stick on because I feel like my teeth aren't strong enough and they'll crumble and break.
a dentist will be able to tell you that.
No,
Yeah.
they said of course not. And like I'm always afraid to like do certain things because I feel like they're just gonna fall out and break. But then they like pick at them. Because I went to the dentist for the first time in a very long. That's the dental. That's
Like
why
a
I've been
month ago,
dentist-centric. Sorry.
yeah.
So Betsy DeVos sucks, basically.
Yeah.
The Grammys suck.
Big donkey dick.
Beyonce should have won. The Grammys are racist. But who I'm really mad at this week,
Who?
and who's wrong again
wrong?
for the second week in a row, I think at the very first time on the Kenneth Frankly podcast.
You're on notice.
Katy fucking Perry
Perry, yeah.
on the red carpet was answering questions. Oh, Katy, we haven't seen you in a minute. Where have you been? She's like, I was taking care of my mental health. I haven't shaved my head yet. Making fun of Britney Spears, who 10 years ago this week infamously shaved her head, having a mental breakdown.
Right, and you were just talking about Kanye having a similar thing.
Similar thing.
Going blonde.
Katy Perry wishes.
just as bad when you don't have a, when you don't have a,
blonde too.
I did. Right around that same time too. Actually, I dyed it back in 3 days. It was like I look like a popsicle. It was like,
I don't. Oh my god.
you don't remember that? I'm sure I have a picture floating around.
Oh my god. I
Because
need
you
to see
really
it.
did for not long enough.
No, because I did one dye and I was like, it's so orange. I'm gonna dye it again without any toner or anything. So then it came out and it was literally
Didn't
it
we
was
do
like
it together?
It was like Howdy Doody blonde. It was just awful. Did you do it? I was in JP because I remember running out and being like, I need brown. I need to go back.
We
It
did
was
it
like
one
midnight.
Christmas. I think I came
sounds right.
back
Yeah.
like, and we were the only ones there because I lived above him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's too funny.
I know. But so Katy
Oh, is that
Perry,
how you guys know each other?
kind of.
No.
We
Hundayo?
We went through Allie.
and Ashley.
Okay.
All right, so I would go visit our friend Ashley when she was studying at UMass Amherst, and that you were friends with her and Allie. So that's how I met you. Probably
Connecting
2005-ish, I want to
Wow.
say.
I'd say so too. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere
Six,
around there.
5, 6.
And we have
winter
never-
time.
That's what I'm
Cross
saying.
paths?
It's been
That's
a
crazy.
dozen years. And then so Sarah did end up, when I lived in JP, she lived in the apartment above mine for a couple of years.
With Allie.
With Allie.
And Crystal.
And Crystal. West Coast Crystal. Shout out West Coast Crystal. That was a great time, though. It was like as close to the Friends sitcom as you'll ever get. Like
Yeah,
6
right?
friends living an apartment away from each other. And
That's
just
so funny.
Living the
But
dream.
those stairs made us less close than the friends on TV, I think.
Yeah, that's.
I think
that was
I don't know.
Montebello, right?
Yeah.
I didn't
don't really
realize
think
that they lived above you guys.
Huh?
I didn't realize that they lived above you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Well,
and so
Well,
that's probably why
I
I've never
learned
met.
something
You
today.
maybe you guys didn't hang out a lot during that period of time.
no, I mean,
We
you were
didn't
in
see each other that
Lowell.
much,
No,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
You did go through vibes with different kinds of.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, well, that's how you.
definitely.
I think that's how you know that a friend is a true friend. Is like super low maintenance. You see them months or years later, and it's just like time hasn't passed. Good vibes. What's up? Like those are your friends for life, right?
But I do thank this podcast for bringing us together
Aw,
every
I
single
know,
fucking
it's
week.
So sweet. And you get to meet all my other friends.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm expanding my network.
That's all right.
That is efficient living. You know, like that's good.
Purposeful hangouts.
That's
I always
right.
like you have to have like a plan to do something. I mean,
Oh
I
my
do.
god, my calendar is fucking stupid. It's awful. Like I can't like just randomly hang out with people. Like it doesn't exist. That doesn't
No,
happen.
no.
Except my boyfriend.
Yeah. It's and well, it's
And actually, I have to cancel plans on him tonight because I got another date. Sorry. I mean, no, just
we live in a culture that feels good canceling plans though. Like the millennials do enjoy, like subconsciously people make
you know how
plans
many
just
memes?
to cancel them
You know
all
how
the
many
time.
memes there are about
does
that?
that?
A lot of people
I
do
don't
that.
know.
That's
a lot
rude.
Of
I
it's-
don't do that.
I don't think it's
That's
intentional.
fake news.
That's
Yeah,
fake news.
that's fake news.
I don't.
Fake plans.
Give me a Law and Order. Thank you.
Who's doing
Whoa.
this? Who's making these plans and then canceling them?
Yeah,
Fake
with-
plans.
making
fake
plans
friends.
with no intention to keep them.
But I feel like it's a subconscious thing because it's tryptophan or not tryptophan, but an endorphin that's released in your brain
That's
when you
turkey.
have
That's the
when you
turkey
have-
thing that makes you sleepy.
when you have an whatever.
But maybe
you know,
tryptophan causes you to cancel your plans.
yeah, you've had too much turkey. Yeah. So you make this plan and then you cancel the plan and an endorphin is released. It's like less pressure, less social anxiety, less pressure. I get
Or
to
I
just-
don't have to get up and shower.
right, exactly. Whatever it is.
That's why I was late. So
Yeah, and it's,
there you go. But I would never cancel. I'll just show up a little late.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
people.
great.
A lot of people
I admire
cancel,
you
and
so
that's
much.
Thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
really sorry for being late because I made you come early. So I apologize for that.
don't worry about
we
it.
were late too,
all
baby.
good.
Okay, I wish I never said anything. God.
No, but it's important to be open. You know, ignorance is bliss. But what we were talking about that sometime.
Yeah, no. So I have a question for both of you guys. We were talking about how Sarah is an economist, and she sort of thinks political economy, right? Economics. So it's,
what separates
why
the
do I have
different-
such a hard
Economists?
I have such
No,
a
no,
hard
no.
time with that
Economics?
word. Economics. It's,
I have a thing where I and I think I'm getting over it, but I used to like. There's something that makes me when people say economics rather than economics, and I don't know where that comes from because
But economy though. Economy.
Right.
Economy. Economy.
economy.
Economy.
The economy.
economy. That's a dating website, right?
What would economy mean?
yeah.
Without
Economy.
My boyfriend would love that site.
which one these are.
It's always C. C is boing. Middle C is boing, and then we jump from.
Yeah,
C
I don't
to-
play the. Excuse me. I don't play the piano.
No. So the
I
question.
don't play the piano. Well, this is a MIDI outboard.
That's what
Oh.
it is. The question is, so you're sort of by profession and also by what drives you, everything is sort of focused on the zooming out. And you and I have talked about that
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
how and you're so good at seeing things big picture, broad, over like a span of time or a span of the globe or whatever it is.
Totally.
You're very, very good at that.
I am big picture.
You're a very big picture
I'm a big
person.
figure.
30,000 feet.
oh,
right.
baby, 68,000.
Million. Whoa. And so
32,000 feet. I should have said that.
by
my fucking mind.
right
30
and-
to 30 to 32.
by profession and design and inspiration, Yvonne studies chemistry and the teeny tiny micro
DNA.
science and
RNA.
molecules so tiny that you.
Molecule.
That's why I was never good at science, is because
Not tangible.
I cannot understand the scope of the topic at hand. Same thing with macroeconomics. I can live in this plane, but please don't ask me to zoom in or zoom out. My question is, knowing that you guys work in such different realms, do you find
Hard to relate.
and or do you find assistance from each other in your fields? How does that work?
Yeah, what's the
basically?
dynamic there?
Right.
How do you guys even get along?
And not even. I mean,
just kidding.
I mean,
Why
more
Do
like-
you even like her?
I mean more professionally speaking. Like,
Yeah.
Do you think it changes the way that you work now that you are partners in crime and can sort of think of things
Do you see a new perspective?
in each other's
or
right,
yeah,
right.
That's a great question.
Yeah, just
Yeah, no, totally. I think just getting a different perspective for me, not so much on the science side, but like the part of the industry that I work in, and then having a clear perspective from what it means in the big social or economic picture. That's very interesting. We have
And
lots of
Sarah's-
interesting conversations about that.
Sarah's so good at navigating that stuff.
And that's also one of the things going beep 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 beep
Backup
for like
truck.
24 minutes to go 24 minutes and 15 seconds behind this.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah. Okay.
Just right there, but now you have to adjust it. But about when we said like big pharma drugs, that part, and Yvonne, I felt your kind of response was a little like, all right, well, I'm not big pharma. This is, and you made a kind of like point to say that all the scientists that work there, their main thing is to do the science.
Right.
Right.
But they're
Yes.
organized in these structures that, yes, have these motivations to
Yeah.
exist. And so that's
I mean, the
really
scientist
fascinating.
perspective is
Yeah.
always different than somebody who's in a higher management or even a
Right.
business
Sure,
person
but they
or in
tie-
sales or on
Right.
financial.
They tie your compensation as scientists to the performance of the stock on the market. And so the whole, so in that sense, it's intimately connected,
Yeah,
which makes
exactly.
it
I mean,
really hard.
that is the workplace that
Yeah.
you work
Right.
in.
Right.
So, you have to deal with both.
Right.
Well,
those
no,
things.
they didn't. If they didn't pay you in stock options, right? That's what it's incentive pay, and there's like all these economists. This is fantastic. Like this is how you incentivize people to engage and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it does make the employees, the scientists, dependent on the profitability of the company, the stock price of the company as the primary thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I felt like that was
A little conflicting, in a way.
Or more just like putting it in perspective in a way that you might not otherwise think of it.
right. It adds additional pressure to
Right.
Yes.
your
Yes.
this whole idea of like what's going on in the pharmaceutical like industry and the health industry in these markets and is mayhem.
And I think, absolutely everybody is concerned
Outrageous
whether
costs.
you work
Yeah.
in that industry or not.
Yeah.
If you work in that industry,
I work in healthcare, yeah.
in particular, you're very much affected by all of these things that happen.
Absolutely.
And
Or-
even if you're not considered and you try and you strive, we try not to be a bad actor to
Right.
do those
Yeah.
things.
I mean-
We don't have drugs on the market right now, but soon, hopefully, this will happen, and then the question of drug pricing will come up, and so
Yeah.
on and so on.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're all
And-
taxpayers here, so we all have a stake in it because
Yeah.
right now we're paying for, pharmaceuticals right now for, Medicaid and for people that can't afford it, right? And then
Yeah.
you've got a Hep C drug that comes out that it's, 12 rounds of $80,000 a pill, So
That's interesting too, though, to connect that as taxpayers, like as you were saying, like as taxpayers, we're paying for it. That's an interesting way to entry point into why.
Right. Why
and
should
what I
everyone
care
be
about.
concerned
oh
about
yeah,
this?
we all have a
Right.
we all have a stake.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I feel like
Even if you're not directly affected by whatever condition is being
Yeah,
treated,
right.
like
Right.
we all as citizens
have a common
of this
interest.
community have a common interest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And also just to have, public
Good-
health.
good
public
healthcare,
health.
yeah.
Exactly.
But even I don't just this idea that it's we're paying for it with our taxes, I think is I don't really pay taxes, I mean,
What's your secret?
I know.
I mean,
Tell me more.
The Art of the Deal, that Trump biography. I mean, it was just
Shit, really?
Well, so I wanted to ask
I'm
is like
smart 'cause I don't pay
shifting
taxes.
to your
A lot of people don't because they don't make enough money. That's kind of what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
this idea of gathering people as taxpayers in and of itself, taxpayers have completely different priorities.
right, but it's
Right.
it's a easy go to in order to mobilize a mass of people
Yes.
because
And I don't want you to think that I begrudgingly pay those taxes.
Right,
I
right.
don't.
It's
whatsoever.
just-
And also I work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Right.
So don't get me wrong.
I
It's
did
just
too.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to be teaching in a public
Yeah.
university.
Yeah,
and so
right, yeah.
public sector employment, public employment is so important.
I want to ask.
We'll talk offline.
I can't.
So I want to ask, shifting gears to your profession, though, Sarah. I just read this really gross statement from Northeastern that went out to all of its students that was sort of saying, Trump is bad and the travel ban's bad, and feel free to come to us if you have any questions. That being said, please exercise caution when you see unions on campus trying to get you to sign up for the unions.
What?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the statement.
Like student
Send
unions?
it to us.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Or like unions for student athletes?
It was
or...
basically this anti-union statement that came...
You said Northeastern?
Northeastern University.
So I think their
student aides?
adjunct professors.
Yes, and I think it's called the automobiles.
Yeah, the UAW.
That's what it is.
I don't freaking blame them because they get no benefits, and a lot of times they can't get into a full like professorship or whatever.
Right.
Sorry.
And this is for student teachers, adjunct professors looking for a base level of quality and guarantee of benefits when
Graduate
they're working.
students as well.
And for Northeastern to put out such a terrible sort of anti-union statement to its students saying, don't sign anything. This is a legal document.
To what they just said,
It's
right?
just so gross. And so like...
I know. And this has been happening for the entire history of the United States, which is why, like... I don't know what's going on now, and we look at like with the Betsy and all of these people, like Rex Tillerson being Secretary of State. Like after World War II, it was like a point of pride for the United States government to have business people conducting their foreign. They like used to hire, and it was like, this is good. It's our businessmen that are doing this, right? So it's like this part is just like putting it out there for everyone to see what has like. The skeletons of what has been happening in this structure of the
And we've
US.
talked about that, about sort of, I know you've gotten some backlash in some of our discussions with friends because we've talked about how at the end of the day, the Trump administration is at least pulling a veneer off of everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of makes it a little more transparent what has been going on all this time.
Right, yeah.
So obviously not to say that the Trump administration is good for the country, but it's a fascinating time to be a political economist because you're actually like being able to take all of this stuff that you've been learning and you've known basically for all of this time and seeing it sort of play out in this really primitive sort of accessible almost
on Twitter.
It's absurd,
on Twitter.
right? It's absurdism, right? That this is how...
What was Adam, my friend, was listening to a podcast or something, and it was about, is Trump beyond parody or something?
So that's interesting. So here's my thought on that. I think parody means satire, right? Most of the time.
Meaning,
is Trump beyond parody? Means is he untouchable when you try to satirize or make a parody of him? The quality of the parodies usually are not very good. There are exceptions, obviously. Everyone's really responding to some of it, but is it a detriment in terms of making it a standard? That this is, you know what I mean? The buzzword right now is normalizing Donald Trump. Are we normalizing him by parodying him? And by giving him this sort of caricature attention during the entire election, it just sort of felt like it added fuel to the Trump fire. He was, in that sense, impenetrable. You couldn't make fun of him because he was unstoppable. And it just added to...
Did you ever see remember the 30 Rock episode, though, where Jenna is making...
she is the deciding factor.
No. When she has a hit song, and then Weird Al does a parody of it, and she's pissed, so she tries to make a song that he could not parody, and she made the song like this crazy thing about pizza or whatever, and then he changed it into this like super patriotic song. So there's that dynamic playing out there about what you were just said.
Yeah, basically just like I would say during the election, you could not parody him because all of the attention he was getting just made him a force. You know what I mean? But now he's the leader of the free world. And
what does that mean?
The joke is, I don't know. You tell me.
No, like people keep saying this. The leader of the free world. Well, not even that, but just like that's something we repeat, right?
Maybe he's the leader of the first world, or he's in a position wherein globally, people are looking to see what he's doing. Because it affects.
Oh no, he's very.
It affects the
influential.
globe.
Russian television, the amount of times that they've mentioned Trump
Right.
on news is
more than Putin.
More than if you turn on CNN right now and we could like drink every time the word Trump is said. You know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Media sucks right now, obviously.
But
I want to ask you where you get your news.
Oh yes.
Because I was listening to.
people
I was
want to
listening.
know.
I think I was listening to Democracy Now.
I don't know where the sea is.
I was listening to. I think it was the Democracy Now podcast, and I didn't listen to the whole thing, but they were talking about why you should listen more, not towards political pundits, because that's all opinion based and sort of rhetoric, and you should be basically divorcing yourself from the talking heads
I feel like
of
there's gotta
media.
be a difference between reporting and analysis
factual
and interpretation.
reporting and a diverse newsroom.
What your
It's not
take
a
is
very
on
close line. It's not a very, I think, distinguishable.
No,
right.
it's
So,
not.
I mean, the basics that I picked up on in the first 10 minutes of this podcast, you should be looking for news sources that are giving you reports as opposed to talking and,
Opinion.
response, right? And
It's gotta pass the crap test.
totally. Thank you, Rachel Baum.
Yeah.
And the
Is that
news.
a taste test?
It's
It all tastes like crap.
It's a way to verify, like citing your sources for a bibliography. Is it, where's the source coming from? Why did they write it?
To like validate, is
Totally.
it?
Are they trying to sell you something or sell you an opinion, or is it coming from a government website? And do those matter anymore?
Yeah.
I love this this topic.
But so it's, and now especially where government websites are disappearing and librarians are, this is what Rachel was talking about last week, how to try to archive those to make sure that they don't disappear because they're in danger of going away now. So it's about revisiting the quality of the content that you're absorbing. A newsroom should be diverse. An article on the internet should
If they
come from a
exist.
verified source. Right. So it's all about
Employment.
the quality of the content that you're absorbing, because there's a lot of noise out there. Where do you get your news, and what do you look for when you're sort of collecting that?
Craigslist. The community section of Craigslist. I
M
hate
for M.
all the big cities.
Yeah.
Boston, Medford,
Montreal, North Shore.
But I think this is like has been along with this whole fake news stuff. But even remember, and I'm highly attuned to this element of political, public, economic sort of debate and going on. And I don't know if anybody else like caught up on this. How Trump during the what is it called, the election or whatnot, was constantly the circus.
Yeah.
Saying that the unemployment rate was wrong. And that it wasn't like 5%, it was more like, he said something like 20, 30, even 49, I've heard somewhere, right? And people were like freaking out about that. But the issue is that there is a divide between what, and this goes to what you're saying, where do you get your news source? What do you do? And this plays kind of like a central role in my teaching, because we all have, whether or not we ever studied economics or we think we understand or don't understand, all have an understanding of how the economy works based on our own experience, but also what you hear, like this conventional wisdom, right? So when you hear Trump say something, the unemployment rate is wrong, it's not 5%, it's da. You think, if he's saying that, then you think that a 5% is a good unemployment rate, and then anything higher than that means da. But I think that's just taken for granted. What the way that the unemployment rate has been measured has changed.
I think that's important to
a
talk
lot.
about too, right?
It always has changed.
Yes.
It is a political measurement that does not.
What are the variables that
distinguish-
change?
the way they measure it changes.
So
right?
it's whether or not you're seeking work too, right? So there are a lot of people out there that above the 5%, right, that are just no longer seeking work anymore. They've been unemployed for so long that they just have completely left the job market, and so they're no longer counted in the unemployment rate. So I think it's that's the sort of thing where you can't just take these sound bites.
Right, exactly.
And you can't take, these generalizations at face value, because you have to understand, like, well, how is this calculated?
But then
and also to your point too, how has it changed over time? Like
Right.
how has that calculation changed and been revised over time? Because then it makes it really hard to do a
compare,
comparison
yeah.
over time.
But then
Yeah,
to
everything.
the other
Everything's
side
not
of that
apples to
coin
apples.
is a lot of people are talking about the distraction of the picking apart, and on the other side, and
Or how many electoral votes you got.
it's just
Right, but I think with these economic, like the unemployment rate is really used as this, do you say bellwether? Right, it's really used as this indicator.
Yeah.
And I think that intuitive. So when I teach the unemployment rate, like I spend a lot of time on that because the calculation does matter and like what it means. So if you worked at all so I don't want to go into exactly how it's calculated, but to what you were saying, there's a labor force, and if you're in the labor force, you are either employed or unemployed. And if you're employed, that means you worked at all during the reference survey when they ask for money, right? Even if it was 2 hours, right? Right. So it
it doesn't have anything to do with people on unemployment, right?
No.
Okay.
So most people that are unemployed don't have unemployment insurance. And in fact, a lot of people don't qualify for unemployment insurance. You don't get unemployment insurance if you quit a job.
Right.
And all sorts of things. And it differs by state. Like Adam, my friend who's a political science
But isn't it
professor,
also like a phone survey of a sample? side of the
60,000
population?
households, they do. Yeah.
See, I had no idea that it was just a phone survey. I
They
really
do
thought
too.
that
There's
it
a
was
business survey where they have all the businesses.
So they go both sides.
And the phone survey, which is done by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is kind of under the purview of the Department of Labor, which Andy Puzner, that's a big who's winning, if that's a thing, I don't know. That his labor secretary, the person he nominated, withdrew. That's a huge, that's like as big a win as Devos is a loss.
so. Where do you get your news? You turned me on to KPFA,
Yes,
which I'm
KPFA.
loving.
Oh,
It's good,
absolutely. What do you love about that? What have
Well,
you-
there's one host that does sort of an economic update at the end of every week, and he comes
Rick
from.
Wolf?
Is that who? He's a Marxist, I think.
that was my first econ professor.
Oh, really? I love his show. I love that he gives you
I'm
this.
so glad because he is the one that made me an economist.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love his show because he sort of gives you the facts, and then he says whether and what you want to do with that information is up to you. Like perfect example was like, just so you know, the owner of Starbucks makes $1 million a week, and if you go to Starbucks and drink that coffee, and you make sure that you know that you're paying for this way over the top salary for this man, and keep that in mind, whether or not that affects you or not, probably speaks to your politics.
I'm so glad that you are listening to that
love
and that
it.
you're like, you like it because we've talked about this before. Like you didn't go to college.
I don't know shit about shit. Yeah.
But-
Did I tell you I think I'm going to rebrand the podcast Kenneth Frankly, a dumb gay podcast. Where I just talk about gay shit and know that I'm dumb and just ask people
I
questions.
love it.
I
love it.
I think
that represents both of us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really well.
Yeah, well,
Spot
you
on.
know.
I love it.
I love
We'll
it.
see.
Yeah.
But I just love that because I, even throughout our whole, every time, it's like, no, everything is really complicated.
Yeah.
Like you have to have like a PhD in economics to
And a photographic memory.
understand
Right.
Yeah.
what.
And it's so
No,
dynamic.
to
It's always
understand what
changing.
the
And
New York Times reports actually
Right.
mean.
And
Yeah.
how faux left leaning they are.
and how everything is connected. And yeah. No,
I've got a
absolutely.
great one thing that I would recommend reading right now. You know, everybody's like all like 1984.
Yeah. Orwell, dystopian, blah, blah.
Crazy.
Orwell, fantastic. I would recommend this essay that he wrote, and I have it in this like little penguin thing that I got in college or something. It was called Why I Write, and it's like 3 or 4 different essays, and one of them is called The English Language and Political Context or something like that. And and it has like, it's so relevant and so wonderful just about how the way we talk in English, and then also like in the political, your pundits and all of that stuff, this fake news, this unemployment rate, this is the false thing, breaking it down, and that it's just.
I guess that's the brick wall that I keep hitting with all of the people I talk to about all of this is that if I'm putting in all of this effort and still having all of these questions and feeling like it's this bottomless well that I'm never going to be able to solve, I can only imagine how easy it is to persuade or manipulate people that get their news from a subtitle on the TV when they're at Dunkin' Donuts waiting for their coffee. Because a lot of people, that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's like, where is the call to action to those people?
Well, so my mom, like when I go home, I think my mom, I had such a wonderful time with her during the Bernie Sanders campaign, because I never been talked about politics or anything, and I wasn't even sure if she voted or was registered ever to vote. But like talking about all of these different things with her, and so kind of trying to pay attention to where she gets her news and all of this stuff. So she does read the local newspaper, the Berkshire Eagle, frequently, and maybe every day, I'm not sure. But she also watches news, like local news on TV a lot. And I remember growing up, she would always have it on at like 6 o'clock. And so watching some of those are really fascinating, because during the campaign, they had all of these. She lives right near New York in Massachusetts, but like 5 minutes away. And so they had these like New York political campaign ads on, and there was this attack ad against Zephyr Teachout, who was running for, it's okay. It's
Zephyr Teachout?
Zephyr Teachout, yeah.
Can that be my pseudonym? It should have just been like, just listen to her goddamn name.
Her name is Zephyr.
Exactly, come on.
The imagery of this attack ad, it was like, shot from behind her, and it was supposed to be her like working in her office, and like they're just talking about how she's like this socialist and like super left and whatnot. And they like scroll down, and she's wearing like Birkenstocks. And there's like a picture of like
I gotta say,
or something.
I love Birkenstocks punchlines.
I mean,
that's brilliant.
Gets me every time.
Right,
but
like the things that she was advocating, like directly benefit my mom's social position and my mom and the people that they're showing that ad to. And she didn't end up winning, but she's like maybe as progressive you can get if you're running on a Democratic ticket.
Sure.
Right? Like, which Bernie was too.
Yeah.
Bernie conceded to being like a socialist who happened to be playing within the two-party system because there was no other choice. The fact that he got as far as he did
is incredible.
Yeah.
So is it possible that we will ever
see Bernie,
or break from a two-party system?
That is something that like you guys should have Adam on, because we were just talking about this morning. He was saying about there's this whole thing. Do you try to build a third party outside of the Democratic Party to try to
is that even
fix
feasible
things?
in America?
Well, so he's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think most people kind of.
I mean, we already have other parties, and they just can't get enough traction.
Right.
Like
the Green Party, you mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not just that they can't get traction. It's that the timeline in which they would have to raise all of this money and actually like grow their party into being a viable option.
So one thing I heard is, Jill, I was going to call her Sanders. Jill Stein.
Jill Steinway.
Jane Sanders. Oh my God. I saw this like incredible, like my mom too would like send me some pictures over this. And she had this one picture of like Bernie Sanders petting a cat with Trump's hair. Like she was so Bernie, like loved him so much. And he like spoke, it was just so great. And then after that, and then this like hating Hillary became like her primary sort of thing. And so we would have this conversation where I was putting like before the like in September or October, like critiquing Trump and being like, this is bad. Like he's saying all of these things, right? But then he's appealing to these working class interests and then tries to appoint this guy to the Department of Labor as secretary that is like, and then what is the connection with the Kardashians
doesn't pay anybody
and Carl Jr.?
More than minimum wage, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, the minimum wage.
I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
So the guy that he nominated for the labor secretary, Andy
What's
Puzner. So
Andy-
he was the CEO of CKE, which is the company
Carl's
that owns
Jr.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Yeah.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg of his like garbage, like very anti-worker, very pro, markets and
Yep.
So
Yep.
how
Laissez-faire type of asshole attitude.
yeah,
How do
fiscal conservative, if you will.
Yeah.
That's exactly that's
Yeah.
how do we shake the Rust Belt into knowledge? Do you know what I mean?
we secede
Because the
from the
people
It's
that
not just the Rust Belt that needs.
okay,
shaking.
well,
No.
how do we shake the misinformed into?
Well, we're all
knowledge?
misinformed. We don't even know what the unemployment rate is,
How-
right? And how it's calculated.
It's true, right? Yeah.
So, I guess the question is.
I know, right?
God damn it!
Do you expect her to solve poverty too in this hour? Come on.
I just what?
Because I never let people talk. I'm sorry.
No, that's not it at all. I guess I'm sure we're all uninformed. We don't know the answers, but at least we're paying attention and we're trying, and that's more than what
We're
can be
having
said
conversations,
for
yeah.
60 million people in America that voted for Donald Trump. How do you tell these people or give them the tools to find for themselves that what they are thinking, I mean, a lot of them are not going to give up their privilege and, whatever it is, the 1%, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The other 59 million people that voted for Donald Trump are misinformed. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
So how do
On what?
misinformed in that they think that having Donald Trump as a president is
gonna
going to benefit their
them.
lives.
Okay, that's good. So that's a good definition to start with because that's very basic. That's good, right? So they're misinformed because they think that their Donald Trump
They're going to
will
have to
be
pay.
able to make things better.
They're
for
going to have to
them.
pay less for healthcare. They're going to have to XYZ. It's going to be better for the job market. Blah blah blah. We know that this is not true. They clearly don't. So how do we just let it play out and let it prove?
Yeah.
No,
watch
because
it
it's always
crash
been
and burn.
playing out. It's always been doing that.
But
That's
this
the
is
other
different.
thing.
The difference is that, right? I mean, that's true. I feel like the difference is that this is. So this is not George Bush. This is something completely different.
Yeah, it is.
And the
It
fact,
Whole new monster,
the
yeah.
fact that it worked is
Scary.
insane, right?
It is but at
Bizarre
the same
world.
Time,
We're in bizarre world.
Like that's why I
a boiling
question-
pot has to boil over, right?
But
Like,
that's unless it boils at such like a consistent temperature that it just evaporates the water, right?
but-
Instead of boiling over.
and then you burn the bottom of
Or
the
you just
pan.
have, like, a
yeah,
really-
the pan lights on fire.
Well, yeah.
I think that's actually what we're looking at right now.
That's, I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I got a bigger kettle for when I'm brewing beer. It's much deeper that I don't have any more boil over. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
I feel this fire
I
is
am.
burning really, really high right now. So.
yeah.
But I see what I hear entirely. And that's why when you said leader of the free world, that's the exact question was, what is so free
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna
about
say free
this
for how
American
long, too.
empire?
Right.
Right? Like what has been so free about
Well,
the
you could tie it
reason why?
into free market, which is a whole other fucking
Well,
thing.
exactly. And we know there's like this, my grounding point is that this division between the state and the market is way more tenuous and they actually co-constitute each other. So when you think like laissez-faire and like school vouchers and all of this, that you need all this competition and like it's
It's a
I'm
lot.
very good at describing what I mean, which makes me such a great writer.
Let's take a quick break because I do want to lighten things up with a little totally lame rapid fire, and we'll be right back. Kit Kat break, and we're back. In order to lighten the mood, I felt like maybe I would share and then later edit out of the show. Baby's first hemorrhoid.
Oh God!
You know,
Shut up, really?
you know you're an old man. So when I got my wisdom teeth out, I was in bed and probably dehydrated and had just had surgery.
Is wisdom tooth related?
So I hadn't gone to the
Teeth
bath.
really are the
Connected
center.
to your ass.
I mean,
The other thing on the OkCupid is like the most private thing you're willing to admit is I have a vagina dentata and sometimes
No one,
just one,
no
just one
biters?
tooth.
Yeah.
Just one tooth.
I've
A vagina dentata.
but I have vagina dentata.
Oh my god! Can we stop talking about teeth?
And then the other one is
Not on
that
that
sometimes
podcast.
when I chew gum, I bite off small parts of my cheek
constantly.
more gross than private, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
sorry.
So baby's first hemorrhoid, I was like, finally I had a bowel movement, and I was like, oh, that kind of, I felt a little sting or something. And I was like, oh, that didn't feel good.
Finally, you had a bowel.
Yeah, it was almost like a week later after my surgery.
It's probably the pills.
Probably, yeah. And then I also, TMI, but like, I don't go to the bathroom that often.
Well, I was just gonna
that
say you
sucks.
don't poop that often.
I'm a robot.
You do
Can I just
not?
tell you, when I flushed your toilet back when I went to go pee, I was like, man, I really wish I needed to take a shit right now because
It's an
you've got
industrial
exactly. It
flush,
just
yeah.
sucked it down. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there would be no evidence. It'd
Yeah,
be
it's
wonderful.
great. I mean, it benefits plenty of people,
Yeah.
but it doesn't benefit me.
The bathroom at Geert's house, when you poop, it just sits there, and then like when you flush it, it
just
like
spins.
inevitably like leaves a poop stain.
It just spins around.
So I'm like so.
Did you notice that?
I missed that.
I'm so into like what's going on in my body. Like I love tongue scraping.
Oh, yeah.
I love taking sebum out of my pores. I love a mask. I love all of that shit. I love
bodily
cuticle
fluids.
pushing. I love it all.
Earwax.
Earwax. Obsessed with.
What about the little things
Ear
in your, like,
candles?
the food things in your tonsils?
yeah.
And then
Oh.
you nuggets that you get
Ew.
sometimes, and you're like, oh, these are disgusting.
I've never had those, but I have a friend who has had them, and it's like you can pop them and they smell gross. And
Oh,
stuff.
they're disgusting.
Oh,
I get
I've
them
never
all the
had
time.
them, and I forget what they're called. but,
Sometimes
like,
I'll just be
I
like,
know what that is.
I forget
It's-
what they're called.
It's like incredible because if you do, I think I remember getting one like it's distinct and then being like, what is this? I
You
think
can,
it,
like,
it's
cough
stuck
them
there.
up sometimes.
Yeah, then you like
Ugh.
squish
Yeah.
it and it smells.
like so gross.
bad.
You can't eat, but
It's like
that's
belly
what's-
button lint times a million.
But that is fascinating.
Ew.
Right?
I know,
Like,
yeah.
smelly would you rather have a loud fart or a smelly fart?
Loud. Because loud is funny.
It depends on the
smell is not-
audience.
the smell is never funny.
Depends on the audience
No,
and
the
where I'm
smell
at.
is never
If my
funny.
dog is there too, then I'd rather have the smelly fart because then I can always blame it on
the
Ezra.
Oh, Ivana's he drove with Clay from
Drove on Friday. Yeah.
tell that story.
And then, so she stays in the back seat. And then
Clay's the
I was
dog.
Driving.
Clay's
the
Senator
dog.
Clay Davis.
And then I get this smell in the car, so driving on this small road. And then I'm wondering, what is it? Is it from the outside? Or is it? And then I figure, oh, she probably pooped. That was my first thought. I think she probably pooped because we didn't stop for the whole way.
And then he had
there
like
was a lot of
guilt
traffic,
about
so
that.
like 3
He's like, I'm a
hours.
terrible dog. I didn't even stop.
Yeah,
once. It's
yeah,
like,
because we were
3
getting so
hours in a
close.
car.
And I
So
was
did
like,
she poop?
No, I think it was a fart. Clay farted. Clay farted.
Episode 13, Clay farted.
No, we still need to get a dog bark.
A dog break.
Dog bark.
A dog bark?
A dog bark.
I don't think we've
Bark.
ever discussed a dog bark sound
Yeah,
effect.
we did.
Oh, the Ezra.
Oh, like
Did you
Yeah.
see my Instagram of the cat going nuts on him?
Yes, where
That was
slow-mo
literally
swiping. Yeah.
That was literally me and boyfriend watching them for like 2 hours, going nuts with Hugo in this fucking bag. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, the cat was swiping at the dog, and the dog's
Plastic
like, "What
bag?
did I do?"
No, paper bag.
Do
He goes
you
paper
have-
bag.
Oh, that's what I was picturing in my head, but I said plastic. Should we quick? I really want a hemorrhoid. This is related. So we're gonna move to New York.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you've accepted a position at CUNY,
Yeah,
and you'll be moving this fall,
yeah, like in August. Oh my god,
So
that is adorable.
late summer.
But in New York, I think you can get vanity plates for free.
Are you gonna get? What's your vanity plate gonna be?
Clayness.
Clayness. I like it. What would your vanity plate be, Rory?
CLAYNUS. Should we do that?
Yeah, do it.
Like clay
Clayness.
anus? Clayness.
Clayness.
I like it.
Okay.
What would your vanity plate be, Rory?
I'd have to think about it because I can't really come up with anything clever right now. But right now, I can think is like fuck off.
Yeah, I
How
like
many
that.
do you get? How many letters? That's the question.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think it's 6, might be 7.
and you get
Maybe
special
it's 6 or
characters.
7?
Could yeah,
And
probably.
I don't think.
Could I get
special
hashtag
characters.
something?
No.
You can get a star.
A star?
Like a hashtag? Oh, a cinnamon roll?
like
an asterisk?
Yeah.
Where? In Europe?
I know you can get a dot in some places.
or a dash
A dash, yeah.
hyphen.
You can get a hashtag.
Hemorrhoid.
I gotta move to New York.
Hemorrhoid hashtag.
Yeah.
So-
hashtag hemorrhoids.
All that is to say, I'm obsessed with all things body, gross
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I could not bring myself to do the little bend and mirror because I did not want to see what it looked like.
well,
Because I was like,
yeah.
because I was like, because it's the reason that I can tell it was a hemorrhoid is it like you could feel it, right?
Yeah. It's outside your butt.
Yeah, well, like I looked up hemorrhoids, and it's like
outside your butt.
sometimes
Yeah.
they're inside, sometimes they're outside,
Yep.
and sometimes you have the innie outie, which is like the bisexual hemorrhoid, yeah. where they're like, oh, you could just push it into your anus, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna no. But so
Why would you want to push it in your anus?
I don't know. I think that's just like
Do they go away?
they over time they'll go.
I think
like
your
mine's
anus
gone now,
is a
but-
more hospitable place for it, right?
Your
Then-
anus is
yeah.
a muscle.
home.
But so
size of your mouth.
I looked at
Said by the chemist. It's its home.
it. So I looked up pictures on the internet, and hemorrhoids are not cute, and I did not want to see one.
Hold
my
on,
own
now I gotta
anus.
look. I gotta
I
look.
know.
Oh, they're
please do.
so gross. They
I
look
wanna
like
do it.
It's like a.
Oh, do any outie
even if it
hemorrhoid.
It's like
Based
a
on it,
no.
still- you
It's
still
like
can't-
it's like a purple Cocoa Puff. They're like so gross.
I got rooks
Is
and
it
stuff
is
with
it
my
blood? Is it
aqua
like related to a bruise?
I don't know.
puff.
I really don't. I didn't look too far into like why it happens.
Hemorrhage.
Yeah, I think
Remember-
it's a blood thing, which is why it's purple.
Yeah, and that's why it's
It's
called
like
a
some of your
hem-
intestines kind of coming out, basically.
I don't. Yeah, I think it's something like that. It's like a blood
No.
vessel
Oh my
that
God.
like.
So I just searching outie innie, and the results that came out was outie innie belling button.
belling button.
Yeah, belly button. Outie innie vag.
Oh.
I have an
Like-
outie any vag, don't I?
Well, the dentata, I would say yes.
Episode 13. Outie innie.
Well, there's a vaginal canal, and then the lips. It's all vagina. It's on the inside and the
Oh,
outside.
50% of women have an outie vagina. What?
What? No way.
What?
I don't
What is
believe
an
that.
outie?
I don't know.
I think it's the lips that I have.
Only 50% have that.
Oh my god, look at the fucking graphic.
It's like fabric. It's like little sheets.
It's like the inside of like an old
So it wasn't painful.
suitcase.
No, just the first time I was
Yeah,
like,
or like when you put your
I didn't
hand
like
in
that.
More like
something.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Germans have like flat toilets, flat landing toilets to inspect their poops every morning?
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that. Well, the poops have the BMs have been healthy always. Great.
Always.
Great.
What does that even mean? Is there's a scale,
Just it
but
takes-
is one more healthy and one less?
Yeah, well, if it's too hard, you're probably dehydrated. If it's too wet, you're probably ill or something.
What if it's just like liquid mixed with a little blood? Is that healthy?
Oh no, perfect health. Perfect health.
I think that's perfect.
You're-
That's what I get most.
That's
and like black stool, like black blood, not red blood. That's supposed to be really good too.
that's what I have. Is that not?
Very healthy,
Every
right?
time.
Is
It's
that
just coffee.
I thought that was.
I ate a lot of beets.
I think that's optimal health BM. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's not funny.
What did you watch where somebody cut a horse open and it was
The
just
Path.
The Path?
What?
They cut a cow open.
Who?
Oh, The Path is a TV show that's currently on TV.
Ooh.
Oh wow, current events. Don't press the snowflakes. The jewelry box. So let's play a really quick game of Totally or Lame, which Sarah and I used to listen to this podcast before it went off air.
Not even off air. I don't even think they recorded anymore.
Yeah, they don't make
Oh, it's a different one.
out of
Is that off-
production.
But no, off air obviously makes sense.
You could still go listen to it if you wanted to.
yeah, and it's fantastic.
So it's called Totally Lame, and this game is basically a rapid fire round of questions. I'm going to ask each of our guests one at a time I'm going to rather list a series of proper nouns, and our guest is going to, as quickly as possible, tell us totally if they approve of that thing, or lame if they don't.
Or you can say turtly.
Or
Turtley?
turtly.
Could
I
you
don't know why Rory's obsessed with the turtley, but
What's turtley?
You're turtly lame.
It's because she doesn't. Nope, lerm.
Because I like turtles.
turtley and learn.
Oh,
Okay, we're going to start with Yvonne.
that's turtle.
Go for it.
Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yeah.
I know you do because we've played this before.
Yes.
Okay, ready? Set, go. Silk,
Totally.
the zoo,
Lame.
Amazon.com,
Totally.
jazz,
That's everyone's response.
Jazz? Like jazz music? Yeah, totally.
ebooks,
Ebooks, lame.
colored contacts,
What?
colored contacts,
Oh, lame.
Justin Timberlake,
Lame.
Zumba,
Lame.
death penalty,
Super lame.
mustard,
Turtley. Oh no, totally lame.
No, mustard. Totally.
fur coats,
Fur coats, lame.
Madonna now.
Lame.
Wicker furniture.
Lame.
Ecstasy the drug.
Totally.
Bunk beds.
Really?
Totally.
Picklebacks.
Whoa.
Totally.
Improv.
Lame.
Cilantro.
Lame.
Therapy.
Totally.
Burning bridges.
Totally.
Open mic nights.
Lame.
Having a nemesis.
Totally.
Response too.
Theme parties.
I love it.
Lame.
Star Wars.
Totally.
Misandry.
What?
Misandry?
What is that?
The destruction of men through like hating all men. It's the opposite of misogyny. Misandry.
I'll give it a random lame.
Marshmallow fluff.
Lame.
Food Network.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
That was fun. I like that one.
That was good.
Yeah.
You ready?
I think it's so funny comparing the responses between past guests and
Yeah.
like everybody that comes on, because there are some things that like emphatically they have the same exact response.
Although I think you might be the
One
first
above.
person. I think you might be the first person that endorses bunk beds.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. You like a bunk bed?
Top bunk or bottom?
No, I was
Are
thinking.
you a top or a bottom?
I was thinking in terms of space save. You know.
Yeah, very
Very
efficient.
practical. Very
Yes,
practical.
exactly.
Are you a tiny house fan?
Totally.
Love a tiny
And
house.
we have our
Totally.
own question
You're
for
gonna-
advice
for
for you
Rory.
guys.
Oh, really?
For both of you.
Okay, well, let me
And-
ask you
and
this.
Kenny.
Thank you. Let's do this totally lame with you,
Yeah.
Sarah, and then we'll swap tables and you
Yeah.
can host for a minute.
Table shall
Oh, we have our own. Totally.
We have a totally lame for you guys.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wait.
It's turtly or lame.
misandry?
It's the opposite of
You've never heard of misandry?
No.
opposite of misogyny.
It's-
So it's against men.
Oh,
Misandry.
Misandry.
Against the
Oh, when you said man, I thought it was like humans.
A man
No,
hater. Are you a
men,
man
like
hater?
men.
the gender male.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Let me look up.
So
let
wait
me.
till I ask you and then say it.
Let me. Hold on. Let me
But
define
maybe
it.
the concept is something that
The
I can like
dislike
get
of-
behind.
Probably.
Misandry, noun. Dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against men, i.e., the male sex. Ready?
So it's a question whether I think that's cool or whether I am that.
That was like the question of patriarchy versus masculinity.
Right. What's
It
the
was like,
difference?
how do
Yeah.
you answer to
Yeah.
those questions?
You
Patriarchy
guys
and
are
masculinity.
too smart for your own good for this fucking game.
You have played
Ask
this
the
game.
goddamn question,
You have
Kenny.
played this game countless times, and you're allowed to play it as if, am I misandrist, or is the concept of misandry? That's up to you.
Okay.
Rapid
all right.
fire.
Interpret as you
That's
go.
just a
Yeah,
question.
rapid
Pretend
fire.
you didn't even hear the question.
And don't forget.
Well, that's
you're
I
on
think
the
I shouldn't
record.
have heard it.
You're on the record.
This is forever.
Sandra Bernardo.
Sandra, are you ready?
Sandra's ready. Sarah's not.
Sandra.
Silk,
That's it. Totally.
the zoo.
Totally lame.
Totally lame.
The zoo.
Lame.
Amazon.com. Pick up the pace.
This is why I'm not good at this game. I shouldn't be the
Get
answer. Lame.
Jazz.
Great.
Ebooks. Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Killing me, Sarah.
Colored-
Sandra.
Colored contacts.
Lame.
Justin Timberlake.
Totally.
Zumba.
Totally.
Death penalty.
No.
Mustard.
Absolutely not. Lame. Mustard? Yes. Totally lame. Totally.
Fur coats.
Lame.
Madonna now.
Totally.
Wicker furniture.
Totally because my grandma has it.
Ecstasy.
Totally.
Bunk beds.
Totally.
Picklebacks.
Totally.
Improv.
Totally.
Cilantro.
No.
Therapy.
Totally.
Burning bridges.
Lame.
Open mic nights.
Totally.
Having a nemesis.
Lame.
Theme parties.
Totally.
Star Wars.
Totally.
Misandry.
Lame.
Marshmallow fluff.
Yes. Totally.
Food Network.
Totally.
You guys
Great
have a
job.
lot of opposing
Great job.
views.
Great job.
We do? All right,
Yeah.
tell us about
On
him.
the thing, the nemesis
Fluff?
part. I was like,
Fluff?
nemesis part. You
that's what
reacted.
stuck out to me. Was the fluff.
You reacted. Oh yeah.
Have you ever had fluff? Like,
Right. It's a New England thing.
Yeah,
I've
fluff
like
and
Yeah, peanut butter
tried
fluff.
it, and the marshmallow thing.
Too sweet. Texture.
it's like dessert.
It's bad.
The reason that
It's
I
Guys,
awesome.
dessert gum. Who the fuck eats dessert gum?
I love Starburst strawberry gum.
so
Oh
gross.
my fucking lord!
I mean, it's
so
fine,
fucking
but like,
good.
who honestly is like, I'm fine with this piece of gum?
Oh yeah, go
Like-
fuck yourself.
Like,
Wait,
you think you're better than me?
they have like strawberry cheesecake gum, and it's like, I'm gonna die.
That's like getting a strawberry cheesecake fucking Yoplait. It's like go fuck
Go
yourself.
fuck yourself. Go eat the cheesecake or like go to bed.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never thought about flavored gum in that sense.
Well, they have like
That's incredible.
dessert
Yeah.
gum. They call it dessert gum.
Maybe
Key lime
I
pie.
should. Maybe I should chew gum instead of eating dessert.
Can we add that to the repertoire of questions? Dessert,
Dessert gum. Yeah, I'll put it on the
Right.
next
Thank
round.
I do not know
All
it.
right.
Some of the things we wrote down, you're not going to know.
Okay, well, hit us
But I'm
with
gonna
it.
do
That'll be fun.
more.
We'll,
Yeah,
and we'll
let's
find
hit
out.
us. Whoa. What happened?
What happened?
Oh no, are you okay? You hurt your ear? You're okay.
Sometimes it pops out of its little frame.
Yeah, I was afraid that I heard
Ruined
this,
it?
not myself.
It's fine. What are you doing?
I'm going to grab the Totally Lame thing.
Oh, okay. In one of your like
Oh, wait,
5
forgot.
journals.
Yeah.
So Sarah, you've got your own list of totally lame for Rory and me. Wow, the tables have turned. Come on, Oprah. Rory, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, this is just. I feel like it's gonna embarrass me because I'm not gonna know where any of the questions are. But that's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I'll lay the foundation for you.
I
How's
appreciate
that?
it. I'll try not to listen. I'm not really paying attention.
Why don't we do
Do you want me to leave the
one
room?
here, one there, one list? I ask you, then I ask
Okay,
you.
yeah,
or
sure.
do you need
Love
to
it.
get in
Nope,
the...
love it.
No,
love
no,
it.
no.
Love it.
All right, and this is not going to work because I wrote these and we tried them out and they didn't really know what they were.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Well,
I
let's see
can't
how
wait.
it goes.
Yeah.
It's
All
an
right.
experiment.
Oh, it's called JFK,
Why?
just for Kenny.
I love JFK.
But then there's you. It's also for you, JFR.
yeah.
That's so sweet.
JFKR.
All right.
JFK ampersand R.
Ready. Set.
Go. Staring contests,
Lame.
general strikes,
Totally.
pizza,
Totally.
my pants,
Totally.
Totally. Sorry.
the fiduciary rule.
Wait, that's Rory, not me. I was pants.
No, yeah, he was pants. Explain it.
Nope, fiduciary rule. Who cares? That's why it won't
That's
work.
why I'm trying to
I think
avoid
it's
it. Like,
turtly lame. Turtly.
No, it's totally. Maybe. Well, fiduciary is like, okay.
Oh, for like you're working with a client and you need to keep their fiduciary interests ahead of your own.
Yeah.
Totally.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Good. Great. See?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I just had to think for a second.
All right. That's why this game, not my President's Day.
This is a thinking game.
lame.
Not my President's Day, lame.
Lame.
Dyson
What?
No,
Corlett.
not my president.
Yeah, lame.
Okay, fine.
Slacktivism.
Slacktivism.
Slacktivism. You hear?
Lame.
What's the big? What is that? Free your mind. What did they say at the beginning of that song? And Vogue, you know? Slacktivism. Wait a minute. Now you're here. Free your mind. What do they say? Color blindness, I think they say. Well, we should
All I
listen
remember
to
is,
that.
now it's time for the breakdown.
Can we have that be our outro song
Outro
now?
song on
Yes.
Vogue.
And that's got to be
Vogue.
the very beginning of it.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, this one was, is that the same as Free Your Mind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same song.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Never gonna get it.
All right, let's go.
Anyway,
Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
Dyson cordless stick vacuums.
Well, you're telling me it's a turtley, so I feel like it's got to be a turtley.
Cha-ching! Go to Dyson.com. I'm kidding. You can't use it.
Use promo code. I wish.
Surprise visits.
totally.
Making prints of pictures you take.
Totally.
Toilet training cats.
Lame.
Skiing.
Lame.
Retirement.
Totally.
Paper cuts.
Lame.
Brooklyn.
Totally.
Mickey Mouse.
Totally.
DIY home repair.
Oh, totally.
A bath in your tub right now.
A bath in my tub right now.
It makes a lot of sense.
You mean I can't pee in the shower?
Consider the cleanliness.
Bathing in your tub right now. Taking a bath in your tub right now.
Oh,
Consider the current
lame.
condition of your tub.
Exactly.
That would be a lame decision at my house. Hold on, let me just clean the hair
right.
out of that trap
Yeah.
right quick.
Yeah.
So good. TPP.
TPP.
Kate.
Can you,
TPP.
can you tell me what that acronym stands for?
The Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I don't know. Totally.
Totally?
I don't-
Okay.
I have no idea.
All right. Outside shoes off.
Ugh, lame.
Yeah.
Baby Alive.
Is that a?
I had one.
Oh, totally.
We watched a video of it for a commercial. It is talk about
Does
gendering.
it
right?
poop and pee?
Yes,
You
it
feed
does.
it.
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
it does.
yeah.
And
it has a little stain on the diaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mix little packets. We just saw
No,
this
baby
powdered
food,
food.
yeah.
It doesn't come
and
with the
feed it.
diaper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you change his diaper. That's related to the American Girl.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, which we'll talk
Yeah.
about in a second.
There's two more. I don't know.
Yeah, one for each of us. Come on.
All right. The New York Times.
Totally.
401ks.
Totally.
Do you contribute?
Not yet. And I'm hesitating to now, but we'll see. So yeah, speaking of Baby Alive and all things creepy dolls, American Girl doll is finally releasing a boy doll. His name is Logan Everett. He lives.
I like his last name.
He lives in Tennessee.
That's where you live.
It is.
He plays the drums. Actually.
You mean Logan
and
Tennessee?
he plays,
he plays the drums.
He plays
You
the
do
drums
too.
Yeah.
with his little friend like Terrence or whatever her
Who's
name
got
is.
little freckles on her nose?
And
she looks like kind of like Taylor Swift.
So at first I was like, why? I was like, Logan quit violin after 2 lessons and his parents weren't mad. He just looks like every like little shitty white
Dink.
boy ever, right?
Yeah, little dink.
But now I'm thinking, are they just waiting for the book to come out? Because you know that a book comes out with each of these dolls.
I did not know that. So say a little
Yeah,
bit
they
more
have
about
a-
American
Yes,
Girl.
yeah.
Storybook to accompany them, right?
Yes. And so the history of American Girl dolls is one of them was from the Depression in 1920s or whatever. And one of them was
Different eras, yeah.
colonial. It's all different types of American girls from the past. Is Logan in 2017 the first trans American doll? Because
I would like it more if he were, because you know what?
I don't.
I kind of don't like the fact that American Girl, which, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely wrong. I didn't have one of those fucking dolls.
They were
Neither did
very
I.
expensive.
They were very expensive and very ugly, and like
Did you have dolls?
I did, and I was not poor, but I was not American Girl.
rich.
No.
How much
Rich
are
in
they?
American girls.
I mean, they're
I
like
grew up
the-
rich in American Girl dolls.
I had every single one in all of the books.
all of the outfits, all of the horses, all of the costumes.
Felicity's favorite horse was
Yeah, Felicity's coming back. Felicity American.
We
God.
read the little thing.
Samantha. I thought Samantha was ugly, but anyways, continue.
I always
Sorry.
But you knew about them.
I
never had one.
No, but so
You
my
had all the
girlfriends
books?
did when I was little. Yeah.
You are homo moment.
Oh,
you had
did-
girlfriends growing up?
I know. I didn't realize that.
Do you guys want to do a really quick homo moment while we're at it?
yeah,
Ready?
ready?
But I do want to.
I do.
Homo moment. Homo moment.
Do that live every time.
Every Yeah, every
And
time.
then you just put a beat under
Yeah.
it? Guys,
Yeah,
You're
I know.
okay. You're seeing
come
how
on
the,
this podcast.
Did we
you're
just blow
seeing
your
how the
mind?
sausage is made. I'm sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
I
I
know.
love it.
Will you ever eat
I
it
need to-
again?
It doesn't matter. One of these things said that you don't like sausage.
I
why
don't.
you weren't coming to
I
the
don't.
thing.
That was before I was vegetarian too.
And I said-
guys, listeners, Sarah brought history of our G chats from like 2008
That's
on.
like incriminating.
I know
shit.
it's pretty funny though.
Did you find it? Yeah, it's fun.
It's funny to read. I don't know if the listeners will glean anything
No.
funny from it, but we do mention probably back in like 2011, like, hey, let's make a podcast. So like, that's cute. That's
08.
that's a cute memory. Was it 08?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute
That was like
memory.
the inception of podcasts too, right?
Basically, yeah. So every
God,
week,
shit, you guys should have gone in on that then, right?
I know.
Jesus.
No, it takes a Rory.
it takes a Rory. It does.
Can we just replace "It Takes a Village" with "It Takes,
It takes
a Rory" from now on?
Episode 13, it takes a Rory.
That was Hillary Clinton's thing.
Yeah.
It takes a village, which she said some crazy things in. Basically, she was like, when I was living in the governor's mansion in Alabama, she did not say it like this, but Arkansas with Bill Clinton, she was like, they had prisoners doing housework for them,
Well, the prisoners in Boston were doing all the snow removal in 2015. Remember
which
that?
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
But the fact that like governors' mansions all over the country, they have prisoners doing their labor, which is insane.
It is insane.
And this is in like the 80s. I feel like I would not be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So you mean prisoners don't make my license plate?
Oh, they make your bras.
I thought so.
They make my dick hard.
That's why.
Yeah.
It's,
But
why it's so
just
uncomfortable.
to finish that one thing is that she was like, "Oh my God, I was so afraid of these prisoners coming, but they turn out to be like pretty smart, and they didn't have the kind of education that I have, but they have street smarts. This is like in that It Takes a Village book.
Yeah.
That's an excerpt from that.
Gross.
It's incredible.
Okay, anyway, so homo moment. Every week I invite Rory into the world of complete homosexuality.
We invoke thee.
We invoke thee by introducing her to a gay slang, term, word, phrase, event, person, place, thing, blah, blah, blah.
Is it animal, mineral, or vegetable?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This week, the homo moment is a person, and her name is Audre Lorde. Do you know anything about Audre Lorde?
I don't.
No.
What'd she do?
Yvonne, no?
No.
Who she is?
Sarah?
Say the name again.
Audre Lorde.
Spell
No.
it.
Use it in a sentence.
Is she?
Show me how it feels.
Is she an animal, a vegetable,
So,
or a mineral?
yesterday was actually Audre Lorde's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It was also
Audre.
National Wine Day.
That's true.
And Saturday.
She would have been
Most popular. Most commonly known as Saturday. Internationally known as Saturday.
global. Wow. Really spreading the global message here.
Kenny, how much do you hate us right now?
No, not at all. I just love that you're happy.
So happy.
I believe you.
So Audre Lorde was born 83 years ago yesterday. She was a Black lesbian poet / social activist. She died in 1991.
Oh, she's dead now.
Perhaps one of her most famous quotes is the following. Quote, those of us who stand outside the circle of the society's definition of acceptable women, those of us who have been forged in the crucibles of difference, those of us who are poor, who are lesbians, who are black, who are older, know that survival is not an academic skill. It is learning how to take our differences and make them strengths. For the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They will allow us to temporarily to beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. And this fact is only threatening to those women who still define the master's house as their only source of support. So she was maybe a forefront intersectional, right?
She was a
Slow clap.
Leninist.
Yeah, she was.
That's like Lenin, dual power.
She was. Black women are dangerous, and she was very like early intersectional. She fought cancer for the last 14 years of her life, so a lot of her writing became sort of prolific and urgent, and she was a voice for a lot of people before there was a voice for Black lesbian in pop culture, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but you know what I mean. So she was the state of New York's poet laureate for the last few years of her life.
What does that mean? Does every state have a poet laureate?
I don't know if every state does, but New York did.
I know, and usually they're the ones that will write a write a poem for like inaugural.
Right. They represent
something.
They represent like the poetic arts for the state. And,
Yeah.
How long are you a poet laureate?
I think it. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a term assigned to it.
Or I don't know.
Well, what's the difference between a poet laureate and a Nobel laureate?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
The
Nobel Prize.
Oh,
You're
no,
a Nobel laureate.
No, so it's not the same. So like that is like if you win the Nobel Prize and you're forever, right?
Maybe.
I think
Yes,
you win it
yes.
for.
It's
I think
like
you
it's-
win
you
the
always-
Nobel Prize for a year.
And then you're a laureate.
Because well, you mean
I don't
maintain
know.
that status afterwards, right?
Yeah, you win a prize, then you become a laureate. You get promoted to a position and then you're a laureate. What's a laureate?
I don't know, right?
What about resting on your laurels?
Yeah.
Though, is that related?
Greek things, right?
you're a
Roman,
laureate.
Greek,
Hetero,
something.
ortho?
Pharmaceutica.
Can I just say that my boss is a Black lesbian, so I have a soft spot.
That's why you have a soft spot for Black lesbians?
Yeah, it is.
you know one?
Because I know one, and I like her a lot.
All of my bosses are Black lesbians.
Me too.
I have a ton of Black lesbian bosses. I'm just kidding.
Latrice Royale.
In 1979, Lorde also addressed the National March on Washington for Lesbian and Gay Rights, telling the crowd that, quote, she is proud to raise her voice here this day as a Black lesbian feminist, womanist committed to struggle for a world where all our children can grow free from the disease of racism, sexism, classism, homophobia, and for those oppressions are inseparable. So this was in the late 70s, and she was like,
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Like-
There's a lot of people were talking like this in forever.
yeah, we just saw I Am Not Your Negro a couple weeks ago, and we
Yeah.
had a long discussion about that. And I wasn't familiar with
James Baldwin. Yeah.
right, and his poetry, and he was fascinating and such an interesting character. And so,
I mean, through that whole period, like there's always been incredible radical thinking and speaking, especially Black radicals like the Black Panther Party and all of these movements. It's always like you read them and you're like, this is not the same thing, but just like how relevant the words are, right? And like with the George Orwell, not the same thing. I meant the George Orwell thing where he was writing this like in
Dystopian.
between, like during the essay during.
Right.
His 1984, which is great, but he also wrote about politics and whatnot. And so I think it's maybe more people could read that specifically. And that's like in World War II, where he's talking about being bombed and all of this stuff. But that's great. Like, I love that.
No, that was beautiful.
Turtly.
yeah,
That was
yes,
beautiful.
Turtly.
I only just
Beautiful
found out
quote.
about her recently, and I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to reading
I was going to
more.
say, I've never heard of her before, and that's kind of a shame. So,
Yeah, so
thank you
shout
for
out-
But there's
bringing
so
that to
many
our
people
attention.
we haven't.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
So
think-
it's not a shame that it's great that you've heard of her just now. It's
Yeah,
not a
and I
shame
think-
that you
yeah.
haven't.
Well,
yet.
I think it's a shame that I'm learning about it after her death. But you know what? A lot
She
of
died
times,
in 91. I was only
Yeah, we were kids.
7.
I know, but a lot of times, like, you won't. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of what I was going to say. You don't hear about things until they die, but whatever, fine.
But
whatever.
I guess
Right, eulogizing the
Yes.
yeah.
it goes
Yes.
back to the point of like, hopefully now we're all paying attention, and it becomes a habit for people to pay attention in terms of intersectionality and politics and economy and socialism and things that it's sort of just, it feels right now. You know what I mean?
Yes,
to
yes, yep.
to be paying attention to
And
these
that's
things.
great, because that's like this whole idea with the question you asked earlier about like, how do we shape
Bunk
up
beds.
the rust belt or something
Right,
like that,
yeah.
right? And the point being like, it's not just that. And so if everybody is going to come, like there isn't going to be one aha moment where everybody is finally awakened to these things that have been going.
Never.
Like one of the things after the Baldwin film, you were like, it's kind of depressing. I think you had the kind of similar reaction that they've been saying it's been the same problem since the 60s until now.
Yes.
But
Right.
for me, that is a sign of strength, because there have always been amazing, incredible people that are dissidents and really like doing
Steadfast.
great things
Yeah.
Yeah.
with like
Well, when it's virtuous and righteous, it's not going to go away. You
No.
know what I mean?
True.
It doesn't.
No.
You don't just get to.
It's not a trend.
Right.
and there was
Right.
nothing about Baldwin that was virtue. Like he was
the
so
movement, I would say,
humble.
is
Right.
virtuous, but not his art specifically was more just true to life. It
He
seems
was
like.
I think the way he, like when we talk about communicating ideas and not like saying radical things but not trying to alienate people.
Yeah.
So he was really good at that. Now this is remember we were looking at that thing with the marketplace journalist who I printed that out last time we were hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Marketplace
Lewis-
from NPR?
It's American.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, Polka Media.
American Place. So
it's
this whole
it's aired on NPR. Yes.
Yes, right.
So 6:30 every night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
Rory's a
It's
big
high
NPR
risk
fan. In
though.
case you didn't
real
know.
quick though? Yes. Real quick, can I just say that for Valentine's Day, I got NPR, WBUR, Winston
Roses?
Flowers.
How did that? I thought about like doing that for my grandma or something, or even Yvonne. But so did it come to your work?
Yeah. It was so sweet.
That's
I
nice.
know, right? Oh
Our
my God.
friend.
Adorable.
And I don't love roses. I am not a rose girl whatsoever, but
Oh, are you a flower girl though?
yes.
Are you a flower girl?
I love a flower.
Are you a flower
love
girl?
flowers.
I buy.
Are you a flower girl?
Oh yeah,
They're they're beautiful,
Flowers are the
they're
best.
frivolous, they're fucking nature. I
feel
fucking
like
love
they're-
everything about them. Every fucking
I feel
thing
like
about
I
them.
feel like they really bring softness to a home.
They just are lovely and I love them and
So
I love
remember
my
when,
baby doll.
like with Marty, the last, I'm just like referencing those old podcasts, but that tension where it's like, he didn't want to talk about Beyonce or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
because it's like there's so much crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, how could you even distract yourself?
Right,
Which
yeah.
then reminded me of that thing that you said in that episode, which was like sleep is the ultimate escapism
Yeah.
or escapade.
Yeah.
But then like you were like, I had Oxycontin or whatever, and it just made me sleepy.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
Well,
And I was like, but that's the
but it was
ultimate
great.
escapade.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I loved my 4 days in bed where I was just on Oxy, like
Right,
in
but
and out
that's
of
why people
consciousness.
get addicted.
I
'cause
guess
they
yeah,
just-
it's true. So on to
I
that
love that guy. Oh, those are the flowers. Oh, there's a
to that.
I was looking at the TV.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it's Sam Wanderson on Law and Order.
He's the guy that was in Frankie and with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
noticed that the other night because I was at Mora's. And
I
was at
really
Mora's
liked
and
that show.
Law and Order was on. I was like, oh, it's Grace and Frankie
that's
guy.
so good of
And
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
she was-
where you know him
That's
from?
what I know him.
Oh
from.
my
Too.
god!
Me too.
Oh my god!
So to that point, what is your escapism in this
Oh.
day and age? Like, where are you finding like, where's your humor? Basically, where are you escaping to when you need to? Because I think the healthy balance.
I'm not escaping, and
She's
that's
not.
a problem.
Yeah.
Like the healthy
For her,
balance
it's like
is
solstice to dig in and explore.
And I've said this on the podcast before. It's like there's strength in numbers, and so many people are so called to action right now that you can go protest or be engaged, but then also like know that there are enough people that when you need it, you can back up and like take a minute to yourself and find comedy or escape or oxy, or a lot of people are saying that it's
Or
drinking
Oxy.
or weed or whatever it is that is bringing them.
Is that why I'm drinking so much recently?
Probably, I think that's why everyone's drinking a lot recently.
That's what you guys were saying, that you were saying more and more people are saying that what their escape is like drinking. But where did that come? I had a point for that one that I wanted to really make.
I don't recollect
That we're
it
still fighting the same fight
completely.
as long
Right.
after as we are.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I guess the thing that struck me and hurt me the most was like, why do we have to start realizing this right now when it was the same struggle?
But
going
who's
on?
Right,
we?
right, like, we're
and
just-
that's the big question.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because
I mean-
people have noticed it forever, and that's what I get hope in.
Yes,
right.
yes.
I find hope in that
No, but
that we've been fighting the same things, and that like this woman, right? That
Who's
you
been
just what was her
consistent.
name?
Yes.
I forget her name now.
Audre Lorde?
Like studying the history of like black radicalism and radicalism in general is like great. So that we say, who's we?
Right.
We are just waking up to this. And then I said, we is who?
we are the people that benefit from not having to pay attention to it because we have privilege and
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to pay attention because we aren't affected by it.
Wait,
so
I
like
don't
when
know
we
if
were
that- what do you
when
mean?
I don't.
I don't-
like white people, for instance, don't have to pay attention to that.
Why not?
I mean, when you're a good person, especially now in this day
It's
and
not
age, when it's
affecting-
accessible, you are paying attention to it. But for the past 40 years,
It's not directly affecting you, so why did you need to pay attention until to now when it's somewhere where you can consume it?
But the problem is that
Right?
the problem with my understanding of that is that that's not even the case. It's like it's not that now we're paying attention to that. That thing has existed all along, and so
now we just
Is
care
it more
about
mainstream
we
now?
cannot
Is
say-
it more accessible now? Is
White,
that
let's say
the-
we
I
as
don't know.
white
Yeah.
people.
I don't know.
I think that's
And I
an
don't think
imagined
so. And
community.
I don't think so. Maybe
I don't.
The same way that the black community is an imagined community, or a nation is an imagined community.
I don't think.
But the problem with that is
I
that
don't
now
feel
we're
an
talking
affinity with
different
all white
generations.
Neither do I, but I
yeah.
am white, as are all other
Right.
white people. And,
Well,
and-
I feel
so
like-
now here's where I was going in this thing, why I brought up the marketplace thing, okay? Because it was this trans reporter a reporter for Marketplace, that works for Marketplace, that wrote something on their personal blog about what's going on with the media and covering Trump and all of these
right,
crazy
and then their
things.
employer told them to take it down.
Right, and it was saying the point was there's no objective reality and that's okay or something, but it was really good and interesting. And then Marketplace told them, which is, that's why I made the difference between, because I was looking through this, it's not NPR, but it's APM.
Yep.
And there's like some crazy
American Public Media or something.
yeah.
Yep.
And so I was like going through their employer things to figure out what their contract is and what their standards. But this was this journalist's personal blog who they asked them to take this down because it was basically, that was why I wanted to read it and to try to figure out like
I
what
read it.
was it
That made it so controversial
right,
or whatever.
and I kind of
yeah.
like get that, but then they took it down and they were like no and put it back up and then they were fired for putting this up. And so this is like this, and I don't think there was nothing in the thing that this person said that ever made me judge their integrity as somebody
No.
who could say this truth.
It wasn't even
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scandalous. Like,
No,
they weren't
but
saying anything.
What was it?
It was just a personal essay. I forget the details because it really wasn't saying anything that atrocious.
I
Really?
think what it
I
was
didn't read
saying was, and it had to do with these like fake facts and alternative and whatnot. Just that people come from somewhere and some perspective, and like it was objectivity is dead, and I'm okay with that. Maybe I already said that. And so whenever I started seriously inquiring and like understanding what objectivity means and all of these things, like, and that's why this economist that you like this podcast for was so formative, because he doesn't have a dichotomous way of thinking.
Right.
And that
I like that he
there-
separates economy from government and capitalism. I mean, like he separates the two. He makes it clear that like a lot of people are focused on government as the problem when really it's the society of capitalism that
Right.
The system.
that's right.
Right.
Right,
And-
right. The system in which they operate.
and deflecting what is actually the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so with this, so I've always had this notion that there is no capital T objective truth out there, right? That there are different framings and ways of understanding things.
And things even are different if you're in the room versus if you're hearing it on the radio
Yeah.
later, if
Right.
you're hearing something about like, you know, a tweet
Yeah.
later. Like
Yeah.
it depends on what your physical perspective is.
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Yeah. And so that I think is something that like needs more looking at. But also another one that came up was a professor in maybe political science, maybe Latin American studies at Drexel University. I think that's in Philadelphia.
It is.
Wrote a tweet. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
No.
He said, "All I want for Christmas is white genocide."
Well, I sort of goes back to the punching Nazi things. It's like when, like, yes, right? Kind of like, yes, like,
But this is the reason I bring this up is in relation to we
Right.
as white people, like
Yeah.
or like, you know,
But aren't- but
who
it-
is we?
what I think
And you said we
But
as
there's
white
certain
people.
things that we all benefit as white people, and I
Well-
think that's maybe what you're getting
Are
at.
you
not,
white?
not
Is
about
Yvonne
a belief,
white?
not a belief system.
Is Yvonne white?
you pass
So-
as white
What is that? Why?
I don't.
because your skin tone is pale.
So it's a skin tone thing.
but
Well,
also though, you've got an accent,
it's the
so maybe not.
it's the class.
It depends on what it is.
It's
I
the
don't
type
know.
of privilege you get walking down the street that other people aren't afforded.
Are you going to be?
Because I'm a foreigner. I'm an immigrant.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That's
you're
true.
But so it's
Am I
it's
white?
not a blanket thing. I think you're absolutely right that there's not
Exactly.
one. There's not one. We can't classify ourselves as a group, right? I think there's certain things that we all benefit from as having certain characteristics,
Yeah.
right? It's different, and there's different degrees of that for each person,
Sure.
right? Because
Sure.
I mean,
I guess when-
there are different tones across the board, right? There's
Yeah.
not just like
I guess when
like
Sarah
five
says
shades
who
that we
is
all have
we-
to adhere
so,
by.
so it's just but you're saying its origins is in skin color.
I think that's part of it. I think it's gender. I think it's skin color. I think it's just appearance.
Well, Sarah,
I think
when-
it's appearances.
Whiteness
Well,
is
Sarah,
gender, skin color.
when Yvonne says we, and then you say what is we, and you ask this room, I look around at us, and what is the common denominator with us? And it is that we have
We're
white
humans.
skin.
We're all animals.
Sure, but like when you are trying to break down sociopolitical variables, the number one thing that all four of us benefit from is like English speaking, white passing, privileged people, right? I don't think you can argue that.
But I'm not trying to make it defensive. So when I ask like who is we,
Right,
I'm
and
not
I think
trying
I tend
Yeah.
to go on
Yes.
the defense when you ask these questions,
Right.
Because it makes me feel like, what are you getting at? Are you saying that like we're not allowed to
So
talk?
what I'm getting at is like, what do people mean by this term that to me doesn't mean the same thing that it means to them?
Right.
And whiteness. So here's a plug for further news and listening. There's this magazine journal, The Jacobin, that comes out 4 times a year, and it's like political, like economists and political scientists, and then they do like some culture things. They have a blog and everything, and it comes out. And now they just started a podcast, so they have a few episodes. It's called The Dig. And one of the most
you subscribe me to that on my phone.
yeah. So one of the most recent ones is about taking up this issue of the tweet. All I want for Christmas is white genocide. And so the story then behind that, then maybe he posted something else like as a afterwards, like a follow up to it that said something I forget. But so by telling that part of the story, I'm saying I
get that.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
But isn't white
the
genocide?
university,
Sorry,
right? So the
continue.
university, like, they got a lot of they put out a statement saying we respect this person's right to like speak freely and da da da. That said, what he said is like reprehensible and terrible and blah blah blah.
You're talking about Milo Yiannopoulos?
No,
No, the
that was
professor that
that
tweeted
said
that.
all I want for Christmas is white
a professor
genocide.
tweeted
Yeah,
that.
and then
Oh.
tweeted that,
and then the university
Oh,
said
okay.
that.
Got it.
said like after that, okay, we respect this right, da 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 da, but it was
We don't
reprehensible.
agree, yeah.
Not even, it was just like this is the blah blah blah. So and a lot of it.
Fire him in
So
there?
what
I
does it
think
mean
so.
to say no?
No.
But what does it mean to say that? What is white genocide? That was the conversation he was provoking.
So to me, white genocide is so completely unrealistic that he's allowed to say that because what is that? Who's threatened by that, right? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I asked who's we when you say white people. What do you mean, right?
Well, I said white people in response to who is we,
Right. So then white people would be the subject of the white genocide.
right? Sure, but we were talking about the hope of like black radicalism and like how we are only just being exposed to it because we have never been affected by
mean,
it
but
and
I-
we
so
haven't had to
that-
pay
but
attention.
I
But
don't-
it's not even true. That's the
not
point.
true.
It's like, is it? I mean,
We haven't been affected.
Well,
by it.
by not affected, I
exposed.
mean not affected negatively.
Yeah, we haven't-
We're
we
affected,
haven't-
but only benefiting from it.
We have not been.
I do not benefit from white supremacy.
You absolutely do
I'm
because
not
you live
saying-
in America.
Okay, I'm not saying that I don't have material benefits of being a white woman, but as a person, right? Nobody benefits. People benefit materially. I'm not suggesting that I've had it. I get this white privilege, but that's not the conversation I'm trying to have right now. I'm trying to have a conversation of what
But
is
you see what
whiteness.
I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying, but the
I think you're
content
just
of
having
this
different.
tweet.
I think you're just having different conversations right now, and that's why you're butting heads.
yeah,
But
I
it's
think
not
you're
even like
talking about it.
not trying
Yeah.
to butt heads, but
It's
this
not-
is what we get. This like
Yeah.
this is how we.
This is how
communicate.
Sarah and I interact.
Yeah, and
It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, right. Ooh, yeah. Most people leave the room, and that's
yeah,
fine.
right.
It has
exactly.
happened.
Like, you
but
wanna have
because
a
the thing is
smoke,
like I hear like what you're saying, and I'm there,
Yeah.
right,
We're
still
with
on
you there,
record.
and I'm not trying to deny that I have white privilege, and that, but where I'm trying to push it is about this idea of whiteness, right? And so that when we say we, like because I said it's an imagined community, right? Right.
I don't think community is the right word, but
Well, yeah, that's
but it's
true.
let's call it
I
a
know.
force. It's not an
Well, then,
imagined
but
force.
on the in politics in the presidential election, they always call it the black community. What the fuck is that?
Right, because it's marginalized. It
Because
makes
it's
it
not
sound
because it's not the white community.
it makes it
which
sound
is
like
the
a s-
mainstream. It's not the mainstream community, which would be the white. And I'm using my little stupid air quotes right
air
now.
quotes,
community.
white is the base. If you're not white, then you're something else. You're
Exactly,
some other smaller
exactly.
Like
community.
it sounds so fucked up. It's so fucked up, but like the non-whites, like
yeah.
isn't that so fucked up? But like
It's
that's
so
what it is.
fucked up.
But that's what
so
it is.
in one,
It's so fucked up.
non-Hispanic white. That's another
Yeah.
category. Like, so how do
Right.
you make these
Yes.
categories?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so whiteness is a political construct that denotes
That-
the supremacy in a political order, which is where I'm getting.
That
which
puts
is,
it to a lot of context though too, like in something that I think is a little bit more tangible, the non-white Hispanic or the white non-Hispanic.
yeah.
I mean that's what you're saying with being like I'm an immigrant.
Yes, but
My skin color matches yours, but
also
I'm an immigrant, so it's
that
different.
is very much restricting the whole debate to only like an American,
color. No,
an American
absolutely, I know.
basis, whatever that
I don't
means. You know,
I don't
But
think
for
any of us
our-
are trying to
like,
boil
the-
it down
these
to
are
But for our
questions.
dumb gay listeners,
Yeah,
That's
Kenneth
something
Frank,
we
the
can
Dumb Gay Podcast.
understand.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to my point. If I'm engaging like this and putting my ass out on the internet in the interest of
Right.
improving mindfulness and learning,
Yeah.
like I'm doing a lot more than your average Joe Schmo in Philadelphia or Detroit or
Absolutely.
Ohio might be doing.
Absolutely.
So I guess the point is, how do we make these discussions
Happen other
accessible?
places,
Because
yeah.
if I get defensive about who's we and is this a race thing and
I have a solution.
then imagine Dick, Larry, and David.
Well, that's my point.
Right?
But I have
Right.
a solution, you
Like-
guys.
What?
Subscribe to the Kenneth Frank podcast. Boom, boom, boom.
It's a fascinating discussion.
And I feel like we're wrapping up the
I would
vibe.
say let's just expand the denominator a little bit more, because we're discussing like basic human right issues and things like that.
Yeah.
They do not have an American white person denominator to bring those to the table.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
Huh? Wait, what? I didn't follow.
well, what I mean is these are global things to discuss.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
And like basic human rights.
The perspective that you're going to bring into that is not going to be from one person because of who he is and what he is.
A lot of it is going to be shutting up and listening, which is funny. It's a funny tightrope to walk on a podcast when like you're
supposed to talk.
You're creating content.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I don't shut up. But I do listen.
But Sarah, you're also
I do
you're
listen.
you're exactly, and like whenever
important.
whenever we have discussions like this, you always say, I ask these questions because I'm not teaching you, I'm listening to you.
Right.
And that's part of the discussion, is being able to listen and then
Because I have my own understandings of what whiteness is, right? That I've come
Sure,
to
sure.
through studies of it,
Right.
And lived experience,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Like where once you're aware of something, when does it stop? When, like, because you were saying white people aren't affected by this. It's like, yes, they are.
right, but
Right.
in a positive way because they benefit from it.
Well, there's benefits from a system, but there's also like very intense disagreements about how it should be, right?
Right.
Like this whole thing about working within the system to fix the system, or like working without, which goes to this woman, Audre
Lorde.
Lorde, right? She was saying you can't rely on that once you stop relying on the
masters,
father's house,
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
then you can become free.
A different
or
world is
something.
possible, essentially, right?
Another world is possible. David McNally, York
Right.
University, and I was just that came up the other night. Yes, it is, and that's where I'm always coming from.
Right. Any other closing thoughts?
Don't look me up and
Don't
shut
look
the
for
fuck
me
up, Kenny.
I do want to say quickly, Sarah, you've always been super supportive of every silly, crazy, creative endeavor that I've ever embarked on, whether it be a pop song or a
she's
music
still longing
video.
on the
Oh, the
Tapto
biggest fan.
revival.
Yeah, the Zapdos
she still pushes.
biggest fan.
She still
Yes.
pushes my failed pop music from yesteryear
onto new people I meet.
You
And-
are a pusher, huh?
Exactly.
I love it.
I'm a
And it's
shill.
not fail.
No, yeah. I mean, it was what it was, and I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show and always for pushing my mind into a new direction. Where whenever I think that I've got it all figured out and I'm on the right lane, you sort of help me course correct, and I really appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
And Yvonne, I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you
Thank
came. And I can't wait to see what the two of you do together. I'm expecting big and important things
you
from
want
both of you.
the live feed for our room? We do Facebook Live
Please,
it.
please.
Yeah, I mean,
We have the camera.
so do you want to share with your listeners or our listeners where they can find you, and also how to access your pornography?
Just call the 1-800-NSA-FBI-CIA.
Perfect.
Broad sweep.
Yep.
And then just ask me by name. They should mail you
And information.
all the,
I love it. I love it.
All the deets.
Yeah.
Just file a FOIA. It'll
I
be
had
fine.
so much fun with you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. I
Thank
hope
you.
I would love to have you back on in the
Please,
future. So
anytime.
thank you. Thank
Well, it's
thank
funny
you.
because like I feel like when we started the podcast and we were friendly, like, let's fucking do this. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
The very first episode that we recorded was right around the election results. And
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
im-
Cool
it's-
birthing time.
It's impossible. it's impossible to make this show what we thought it was going to be when it first started.
Yeah.
Because it's
It's different.
It's inescapable to type of things that we talk about with our friends these
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And so thank you, listeners, for listening. And
Yeah.
also thank you to everyone who comes on the show, Yvonne and,
I-
Sarah included.
I hope you're still listening, because sorry
for
if you're
engaging. No, I mean, the ratings are going up, and
Yay!
people are listening.
You
And,
on the Nelson scale?
and we're getting
Moving
there.
on up. That means.
So I just want to thank you guys again.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. For
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Can I
you.
also say, and I'm doing what I'm going to apologize for? When did I say that I'm unhostable?
Yeah.
I'm
You
sorry.
were a great guest. No, you were an amazing guest.
You both were so much fun.
I am a.
I think I
it
gotta
my
say,
way.
I
like that though. Take charge. Do
gotta
it.
say, I think Rory and I hosted
Get
the
a
shit out of you
groove.
both. So.
I'm so
Don't get it twisted.
Listeners, if you have any thoughts, comments, or concerns, please share them with us. You can
Grievances?
or anything in between. You can reach us at kennethfrankly@gmail.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 828-KFrank8.
Sing it.
You can 828-KFrank8. 828.
K-Frank-8.
Thank you so much. Also, if you want to submit a question anonymously, the best way to do that is to go to bit.do/Kenneth Frankly. I'll have no idea who you are. So if you have a question or a concern or something shitty to say, or you want to call me ugly, that's where you do it.
And no matter what, I will never know who you are because I don't have access
No
to that
idea.
shit, so that's fine.
And
it's open 24 hours.
yeah,
7 days a
anytime.
week.
It's the
it's
internet.
free.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Free market. Is there a song that you guys would like us to use? Is it En Vogue?
Right? Wasn't it? It was like,
Yeah.
da-da-da.
Never gonna get it.
Yeah.
Never gonna get.
And now it's
Free your mind.
Until-
the
Free
your
rest
mind.
will
Yeah, Free Your Mind.
follow.
Free
Free
Your
your mind. Those are different. No, they're not different songs. That's the breakdown. All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Settle
the same
that.
thing.
All right.
Until next time, listeners, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.
Prejudice. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it go.
Free your mind.